is closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the exciting Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real-action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hanson, and I am joined tonight by the Tuckster, David Tuckman, and tonight, Dave, we are doing our big no-limit game. It's a 10-20 no-limit game, unrestricted buy-in. People can buy in for tens of thousands of dollars, and I think we actually have some big stacks at the table already.
This game is going to be awesome.
Now, we have some of the usual characters at the table, as well as a couple of new faces.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to see how they adjust, because they've had access to the archives like everyone else, so maybe they know how some of these players play and can make the necessary playing adjustments
without a doubt,
to their styles. So without further ado, let's get to the action.
Let's do it. This is the game I look forward to all week long.
Let's go around and introduce the table.
Yeah, let's see. Seat 1, we've got Mo, and there he is. Seat 2, we've got Ed, and there he is. The red chips, the brown chips, red chips, those are $10 chips. The white chips are $100 chips. And if you see that little chip between the white and the red, it's kind of greenish. Those are $1,000 chips. There it is. And there we go. That's Ed Shanazanazanarian. There we go. And seat 3, we've got Hollywood. Hollywood Russ. There he is. Seat 4, we've got Haval Habas. And he likes to be called Midnight. And he's a Red Sox fan. And last I heard, they're up 2-1, aren't they?
Yep.
Seat 5, we've got our favorite Jesus. He's not there right now, but he'll be back in a second. Seat 6, we've got Georgian, and he wants to be known as the Greek poker god.
Really? Even though he's English.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But he said he's part Greek, and he wants to be known as a Greek poker god. I go, okay. Seat 7, we've got Armir Gazvinian. I'm really being tested with these last names here. There he is. And seat 8, we've got Barry, Don't Call Me Greenstein Woods.
Yep.
There he is. Barry Woods. And seat 9, we've got Michael Hutchinson. An interesting little fact about Michael Hutchinson, actually. He is the founder of the World Poker Organization. And there we go.
Well, of course, this game's going to be hot and heavy.
Oh, yeah.
As we start. Big game. Blind structure is 1 and 2, 10 and 20. And we are going to open the night with a live straddle in seat 9, a second big blind. Seat number 9.
That's Michael.
Mike will have the option when it comes back around to him.
All right. And he's got to put in $40 to get that option now. So there's already $70 in the pot.
Looks like Mo's going to raise it up here with pocket sevens. $100.
It's kind of a sweetener, isn't it? Not much.
2.5 times the blind, the straddle amount. And not a lot of people like to mix it up with Mo, but Barry's going to come in here in the small blind.
Well,
can't quite see what he has over there in seat 8.
Yeah, Ed is actually away from the table, and Jesus is away from the table, so I think Mo can lower his raising a little bit.
Seat 9 has got ace, deuce of clubs, and Barry has pocket sixes, and Barry has flopped a set right away here.
Now, it's all 3 spades out there, so you got to be a little scary.
Barry has checked his set. Seat 4 is not in the hand. It's a $300 pot. Mo is going to bet here with pocket 7. He's going to bet $250, and Barry's going to quickly check raise him to $500, the minimum there, Dave. And Mo is not going to get involved, and Barry Woods takes down the first pot of the night.
Take it down.
Bottom set.
There you go. Another exciting feature of our Friday night poker night is we have Bluff Night going on tonight.
Bluff Night tonight.
Bluff Night, there it is. And a very exciting prize.
Yep.
I kind of wish I was playing, because the winner tonight is going to get 2 tickets to the Rolling Stones.
A pair of Rolling Stone tickets to the biggest bluff. And the way that we're going to do this is all bluffs will be considered, but we're going to put more credence in stone cold bluffs as opposed to semi-bluffs.
Of course, if you're bluffing, if you're bluffing all your chips off with nothing, no pair, no draw, obviously that is a bigger bluff than if you were semi-bluffing with a big draw.
Right.
And you will get a chance later on to vote, and the best way to vote for yourselves is to go to liveatthebike.com.
Yep.
email us at live@thebike.com.
Of course, you can follow a live thread on 2plus2 by going to 2plus2.com. Click on World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments, official Live the Bike thread for September 30th. And we have a bunch of limpers here, and it looks like the blind is going to raise.
Yeah, Michael Hurchin's in there.
Got a weak ace. Ace 8 off, and he makes it 270? 70. He makes it 70 to go.
Kind of a sweetener, because everybody's in there for 20. I don't think he's going to get many players out.
Hob is going to call there.
And that's why he likes to be called, is Hav. Hav or Midnight, either way.
That hand is not good enough for Barry Woods there. That 3-gapper. Or 2-gapper there. And here we go. 3-way action, about a $220 pot. And Barry would have flopped trips if he stayed in the hand. 10-4, 10, couple of spades. Michael's going to lead here.
Betting
$200. You should take it down right here, Dave.
Yeah, it's a nice bet. If you're going to make that bet out of the blind, get a couple of callers. He's representing something. Tough for anybody to call him.
Ed's going to make the call with ace high here. Wow.
Yeah, maybe he's setting up a play on the turn, you know? Or maybe not. Who knows?
Well, he is in position, so it's going to be interesting to see what Michael does.
Yeah, Michael can't like that. I mean, there's no real draw there. There are spades, but...
$620 pot. The turn is a 9. Looks like Michael's going to look like he's going to fire. And he throws a brown chip out there, which we don't usually see at Live at the Bike. It's a $500 chip, and Ed mucks.
Wow.
Yep. So we say that the reddish brown chips are $10 chips. The whites are 100s. The browns are 500s.
And they're bigger than everything else.
Yep. And then you can see underneath that brown the $1,000 chips, which are green. And then if you see a purple, it's 5,000.
And you might see everything at this table.
Yep. And the yellows are $5 chips. The blues are $1 chips.
Yeah. It was interesting, you know, Friday night, it's my least favorite day to drive here because of Los Angeles Friday traffic. But it is my favorite day doing Live at the Bike because the game is always great.
And here we're going to go with the first chip count of the night. Looks like Ed has the table covered. Barry is hanging right in there around 3,500. The rest of the people are in between 2,000 to 3,000. A couple people on the short stack. Jesus has a lot more than 760. We'll get you an updated chip count because those numbers didn't look exactly correct there. Yeah. And we know that actually that was incorrect because we know that Ed has $4,000 chips.
Yeah, I think they maybe they put that up there without knowing the $1,000 chips were on the table. So we'll get an updated. We probably got close to about. I'm going to estimate close to about $40,000, $50,000 on the table right now.
Looks like it was limped around here. No one has any part of this. Deuce 4-3, a couple spades.
Got some interesting characters in this game here. I mean, I've already seen some nice plays.
Checked around.
Making that play before.
Turns a 5 of spades. Gives a mirror. Then nut flush draw.
Now, Amir's actually got the straight. He's got a wheel.
Yep. And he's going to bet it with the wheel and the flush draw. Gut shot, straight flush draw.
Betting 70.
He bets 70.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can call him here.
No.
Takes it down.
And he's going to take it down.
So once again, this is bluff night.
Yep.
And whoever gives the I guess the stone cold bluff of the night will get the Stones tickets, huh?
Yep.
Okay, last night's show, we actually gave away Neil Diamond tickets to the lady who won the most pots. And tonight we're giving away Stones tickets.
Yeah, she chose Neil Diamond over me.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Do you work for Pepsi now, Tuck?
I don't work for Pepsi. I do not. My wife actually picked this up for me in a thrift store on Melrose Avenue, I think it was, or on Ventura Avenue or something.
Well, it's got the David work.
Yeah, she saw it and she was like, "Oh wow, it's got my name tag and everything." She had to buy. I think she bought it for like $7. But I noticed that Pepsi's actually one of our sponsors. If you go to liveatthebike.com, the new website we have up.
And the Jesus is in the game, and he's posted, and he's going to check Jack 10.
Flat on the side.
Button's got Jack 6 offsuit, Michael there. That's been limped around to him. He's going to see the flop.
Wow.
Mo's got a king-queen. Let's see if he just completes in the small blind here. It looks like he does. And we're going to see six-way action, $120 pot. Jack 9-7 rainbow. So Michael has top pair in position, and so does Jesus. Jesus has a straight draw. And Ed's going to come out betting with bottom pair. And Jesus just smooth calls there.
See how Michael plays this with top pair. He's got top pair on the button, but not much of a kicker.
He's going to muck it.
Yeah, you're playing Jack 6 offsuit. You're not really looking
Look at this.
for
Mo is going to call with overcards and a gut shot there, Dave.
Well, with 10 hits, you can surprise somebody. And look at that. That was a 6. That would have made Michael
jacks up.
Yeah, jacks up there.
Ed checks now, and now Jesus is going to bet 250 with the Jack 10.
I mean, I guarantee if a 10 hits, Jesus is going to lose all his money to Mo.
Well, unfortunately now, though, because of that 6, it would be a 4-liner to a straight. A little bit of an action killer there. Anyone with an 8 would have a straight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although, I guess anyone with an 8 would have had a straight anyways there. And Mo is still thinking. All right, Mo is folded, excuse me. Ed.
I was thinking about it with bottom pair. He's got a gut shot now.
And he's
going
to make the call there, Dave. Wow. 250. So we're looking at about, what, $700, $800 pot here? And the river's a 4.
That's not going to do it. He needed the 8.
See if Jesus makes a value bet here. Ed's going to check. And Jesus is just going to check it down there with top pair, and he's going to take it down with Jack 10.
It's not a bad check there. He might have gotten called by Ed. You never know. It's not a bad idea to value bet against Ed, but...
And that's something that we saw a lot of in the whale game on Wednesdays, when we see a mix of people that kind of play for fun with a lot of money that aren't necessarily professional poker players, and the pros. The pros will do a lot of value betting, even without something as strong as top pair did.
Yeah.
Even if they think they have the best hand, they'll value bet.
Well, a player like Tuan Lee, because he bluffs so much at the river,
Yeah.
he has to bet all his hands on the river.
Yeah.
Because players will pick up on the fact that, wait a second, he only bets, he doesn't bet if he only bets if he has a big hand,
Right.
or he's bluffing.
Right.
He doesn't bet if he has one pair, so.
So if he had a mediocre hand, he'd probably check it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So he bets every hand, so you
Right.
never know. It's hard to put him on a hand that way.
Amir is going to limp in here with a suited ace. And Mike's in there with 9-5 offsuit, Dave.
And what's the 73? What's the reference to that on his shirt?
It's just a shirt.
Just
it's
a shirt.
a root shirt, yeah.
Just a root. Okay.
I don't even know.
73 means nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
King
I thought
Jack.
maybe it was like you were a fan of an offensive tackle.
Yeah,
the
that's actually what I was
Patriots.
thinking. I'm thinking, is that Matt Light's number?
Maybe, exactly.
Yeah. King Jack 5 here on the flop. And looks like Russ came out there with a bluff into a 3 flush. And Mike called with the 9 of hearts and a pair, and now he has a flush. Russ is going to check. Mike's going to bet. Looks like 200.
I think Michael kind of called that on the flop to set up some sort of a play,
Well,
but he turns out he was actually calling with the best hands.
Well, Russ has a straight now as well. So the 10 made him a straight, but of course there's 4 hearts out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not really going to be
you hardly even see it. You don't even look for it.
Yeah, a valuable hand, and he's going to muck. He did have a gut shot with the Queen 9, but with 3 hearts out there.
Yeah, I think it was more of a bluff than anything else.
Yeah.
No one wants to see an old guy's nuts.
No, not when they drag on the floor.
And you know this because...
I watch TV.
Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We actually have our Poker October going on right now. And
Shirley Rosario is playing in the $200 Omaha event tonight.
yeah, really cool. About 175 entries tonight in the event. All tournaments start at 4:15 p.m. Tomorrow's event actually is a $150,000 guarantee tournament. $200 tournament with multi-rebuys.
Oh, that's going to be a big one.
And it's a no-limit hold'em event. Starts at 4:15.
Jesus is straddling here, and he's picked up jacks from the straddle spot.
Wow.
He hasn't even looked at his cards yet. Ed is going to limp for 40 with ace-6 offsuit on the button. Hollywood Rush has got a 9-6 of hearts. He's not going to play, and let's see if Jesus raises. He's going to make it 200 more, Dave.
It's always nice when you straddle and you pick up a real hand.
Yeah. And we've seen Ed play a lot, and he seems to really overvalue these ace-rag offsuit hands, Dave. Pre-flop.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to give Jesus credit for a real hand.
Right.
Jesus is bound to do this with a whole
And
lot of
Ed's
hands.
going to call, and this would be interesting if it comes with a 6 in it and it's raggy. Let's see the flop. Queen 7 deuce. Jesus bets.
Nice bet.
Betting 300.
300.
Nice bet. He didn't get scared by the overcard.
And is Ed going to take it off? He's going to take it off here with ace 6.
Yeah.
Wow. The turn is a king. Well, Jesus' hand just keeps getting worse and worse, but he continues to bet.
Hey, he's not giving up the control of the hand here.
Looks like another 300 or 400. 300.
300 to call.
And Ed calls again, and we're over $1,000 here, folks. And the river is a queen.
Wow.
And Jesus is going to bet again. He bets 300.
Amazing.
Is Ed going to pay him all the way off with ace high?
He might. He might. You know, Jesus could make this play with something else.
Dave, I want to say the pot's about $1,500 here. 300 to call, and Ed calls. $1,800 pot. Jesus takes it down with jacks. And I was going to say, boy, maybe the hand would have played out differently if it was queen 6 deuce, because I thought Ed was going to fold on the flop, but it probably wouldn't have.
Yeah,
You know?
I doubt it. And it's amazing. I mean, imagine you were in Jesus' spot, and this player calls you in the flops queen 7 deuce. I mean, there's no draw there whatsoever. There's no straight draw, and he calls you with queen 7 deuce. Then a king hits, you bet, and he calls you again, right?
Yeah.
You got to hate your jacks now, don't you? I mean, how can you like them? Wow.
Classic cards. Players, one more time. Classic cards. Donald's got the clout.
Limp here.
Button is in seat 3. Hollywood's got the button.
5-player.
And we've got 5-way action here.
That's a $100 pot there.
Yep. Deuce 3, 4, couple of spades.
Oh, and Midnight in seat 4's got 2 pair.
He does. Top 2 pair.
And that's Hav.
Looks like he checked it from up front, Dave.
Betting 200.
Actually, seat 4 is going to bet. Seat 5 checked out a turn. And like you said, because Dave, I haven't seen much of Hav, but you said he was a strong player. I'd be surprised to see him check that flop unless he was really trying to put a check raise.
Yeah, from what I've seen, he's a real solid player. I actually wanted to get a little more of a handle on him, which is why I've been bugging him for the last month to get him in this game.
Well, he's going to take
and
it
he's
down.
been very resistant to play in the game. But I told him about the Stones tickets, and he figured he couldn't resist.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So anyways, all right, I'll mention it, Dave. We're going to do another chip count, and then I'll mention it.
And that looks like it's more like it.
There we
Barry
go.
Woods with 8,800.
Okay.
Michael up to 7,300 now.
Yep.
Ed with 7,000. Amazing, you know, Mo has only got 2,600. Doesn't he want to cover the table? I mean, especially Ed and Barry. I mean, these guys are...
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there. By
Yeah.
that. So I see on 2+2 they posted up a score update. I didn't get a chance to TiVo the Yankees-Red Sox game tonight, and the reason why I was going to be hesitant to mention it is because I didn't want to start a trend. Next week when the Red Sox are in the playoffs, when I'm TiVoing it, I want no mention. If people like the show, please do not hurt me by ruining it for me, because I will be TiVoing it and trying not to hear the score and going home.
There you go.
So, but tonight is fair game.
Hollywood has
fair
actually
game.
raised it up with pocket eights. He's in the cutoff seat,
Yep.
and he's raised it up, and he's made it 90 to go.
$90. Looks like George has got a nice little suited connector in the blind. Jesus calls, and George is not going to play 9-10 suited.
Yeah, George is pretty tight.
Yeah.
He's the Greek poker god here. He's a pretty tight player.
Jesus is in real trouble with Queen 8. And here comes the flop, Ace 7-4, a couple of diamonds.
And it goes check.
Betting 120.
Russ is going to bet 120.
Ross bets 120. He's going to take it down, I'm pretty sure.
Actually, wait a minute. Did Jesus call?
No, he just showed him one of his cards.
Oh, and maybe it looked like they ran the turn there for some reason.
No, yeah, he just showed him his 8. 8 of diamonds.
Oh, he put it on the turn.
Yeah, he took his 8 of diamonds out of his hand and put it on the turn.
Thank you.
Yeah, nothing's worse than having a game recorded. And
it was like the kind
Finding out.
it's going to be like that for me anytime the Patriots play on a Monday night, which in week 9 they play Indy. And this whole baseball thing is just going to be a nightmare for me. I'm just running home.
well, maybe they won't make the playoffs. That'll solve the problem for you.
Well, if they're winning 5-1 in the 7th now, that's probably pretty. The interesting thing is I was asking people I was trying to find out if the Cleveland, the Red Sox, and the Yankees all tie. Yankees and Red Sox tie for the division, and Cleveland ties for the wild card.
Right.
What happens? Is it
Cleveland,
some sort of-
actually, the Red Sox play the Yankees in a one-game playoff.
Yeah.
The winner of which will
And then the loser plays a wild card playoff?
exactly.
Ah.
The winner gets the division, and the loser plays Cleveland for the wild card
I see.
on Tuesday.
So the playoffs would have to be pushed back a day.
Exactly.
I see. Seat 5 is going to raise here. Jesus, he's going to make it 100 to go. 9-10 off suit.
Yeah.
Barry Woods is in there with Queen Jack suited. And Mo is going to raise all in here with Ace 9. And he's got like 3,000 there, Dave.
I want to win the ticket.
And he said he wants to win the tickets. Well, that's definitely a bluff, but
Yeah,
it's
but
not going to mean that much pre-flop, Mo.
I did tell
Yeah.
these guys that I'm
Yeah.
looking for bluffs later in the night,
Right.
later in the hands.
Later in the hands,
Pre-flops
not
don't mean as
pre-flop.
much.
Yeah.
Hey, you what? Yeah. You what? Yeah.
And
Actually,
he
it
had
wasn't
the
a bluff.
best hand.
He had the best
He had
hand.
the best hand as well. So, I mean...
What do you mean now? $2,000 for a side?
They were all expecting maybe 7 deuce.
Right.
You know what?
I think Mo is a big Rolling Stones fan.
I'll give you about 6.5. Yeah, 5.5, 6.5. 6.5. Mo.
Got a nice mix of players at this table. Some really tight, solid professionals, mixed in with some
Like the move, though.
less experienced businessmen.
Probably had him beat. That's the crazy one.
Pocket kings this time for Mo, and it's nice to see when he... And there's a straddle there by seat 9. It's nice to see when Mo just raised with the ace 9. He picks up a monster, and he's going to raise it big, Dave.
What if he went all in there again and somebody actually had a real hand?
Yeah. Has he raised to 400? Wow, 400.
He just doesn't want to call. He's in a tough spot. He's under the
That's
gun.
10 times the straddle amount with pocket kings.
I don't think he wants a call.
Really?
I mean, obviously he doesn't want to call.
Well, he's not going to get one. It just seems like a big raise pre-flop.
Yeah, no, it's a huge race.
I think, Dave, that he was doing that because of the previous hand. I really thought
Yeah,
that
no.
maybe someone would call him with 10s or jacks. Something like that. Or maybe he was trying to play it so that, it looked like he had 8s or 9s, and someone might
Right.
come over the top of him with, like, something
Right.
like,
Well, sometimes when you make a big
Tens or
raise like
jacks.
that, you are setting somebody up in the sense of you're only going to get called by a huge hand.
Right.
And in that case, as long as you don't get called by aces, which you're not going to get called by, obviously,
They're
you'll
in
probably
pretty
get
good shape.
raised, you're in fine shape.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
He makes it look like he's kind of scared, and if somebody picks up jacks or something, they think, oh, I got him.
Look at this. We've got our token email here from Marianne. The Jesus groupie.
There you go.
Go Jesus, go Jesus, go Jesus. He deserves to win.
Raise 100 total.
And Jesus is going to raise to 100. He's got king 3 offsuit.
And Amir here with pocket tens.
Yeah. He
Just
just
smooth
calls.
calls.
Smooth
Wow.
calls.
Heads up.
And we're heads up here. King 3 against pocket 10s. Oh, that's a pretty good flop for pocket 10s. Jesus has a gut shot, and he bets. Looks like either 100 or 150 there, Dave.
Betting 120.
120. And let's see what Amir does. He's going to raise.
3 more 100 to call.
He's going to raise it 300 more. And this is why Jesus is, he's going to get rid of it. What happens if Jesus comes back over the top of you now? It's just
Yeah,
so difficult to put him on a hand.
It's tough. It's tough. That's why we saw, I want to say about 2 months ago, we saw Jesus flop a set, and break a gentleman who had an overpair.
Yeah,
Actually
because
broke the Frenchman.
one of the things I like about Jesus, as well as other players that play with that style, is that I haven't really seen him slow play at all. Even
Yeah.
with monster hands, he's not going to slow play.
No, he
And that
bets
works
his
right
hands.
into his advantage and works into his style.
Right. If he's hitting, if he's not hitting, he's
Yeah.
going to go broke.
Right.
But if he's hitting, he could build $2,000 up to $10,000 like that.
Right. Because people are going to pay him off.
Exactly.
Now, one of the weaknesses of this game is I think sometimes he overcommits himself to top pair, regardless of kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely overvalue some
Yeah,
hands.
yeah. Limp here. Limp in the blinds. Jesus has a weak ace. Queen 10 and 6-5 offsuit in the blinds. And 5-6 over there. Mo's got top 2.
There you go.
And he's going to bet.
Bet's right out.
100 is the bet.
Bet's 100. And Jesus makes the call there.
Jesus is in real bad shape here.
Yeah.
If an ace comes out, he's going to be in trouble.
Turns a 6. That fills Mo up. And he checks it. And Jesus checks right behind him. And the river is a 10. And Mo's going to bet here. Looks like 100. Chintzy bet. And Jesus is going to pay him off with ace high. Mo shows the full house. And you know, Dave, one of the other things that you can notice about that hand, because the flop is low like that, I think that Mo bet a very strong hand because people would know that anyone might just try to steal it out of the blind because it's a raggy flop. Now, if he had something like Queen Jack in the big blind and he checked it and he flopped 2 pair there, then maybe he would get tricky and go for the check raise.
Right.
But this is almost like a reverse. I have a big hand. You expect me to try to steal it with these cards, so I'm going to bet it anyways.
He might bet that. I mean, there are 2 hearts out there. That's
Yeah.
6-5 out there. He might bet it if he has 7-8, 7-4,
Uh-huh.
any 2 hearts.
Right.
Checks the turn, and he might even bluff out at the river. I mean, that's the second time tonight we've seen people pay off with just ace high.
Yep. Jesus called him down there with ace 8.
I like a couple of them. I don't like most of them. There are a couple that I like.
Once again, this is bluff night. The prize tonight are 2 Rolling Stones tickets. Whoever gets the best bluff of the night.
It is, but I mean, it's just one after the other after the other.
Did Jesus raise there to 100, King 9 suited, and seat 7 call with pocket 5s.
Heads up.
So we're heads up.
Check.
Not a bad flop for pocket 5s.
Not at all.
Jesus is in position. Amir checked, and Jesus checked right behind him. Ooh, the turn's an ace. Third club.
That's a scary card for Amir.
Oh, Jesus is not going to bet on the ace. And the river is a 6, and pocket 5s is good. And it's just going to get checked down.
Yeah, see, I just don't understand the point of if you're going to raise with King 9 of diamonds, why not fire at it? Represent something.
Well, especially when a scare card comes like the ace there on the turn.
No, these were double corners.
I mean, it's almost like he played it as if he had an ace and he didn't like the flop. And then when the ace came, he almost played it like he had a pocket pair because he didn't like the ace either. It was like, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, sometimes
Really
there's really a pattern that can be found with Jesus' betting.
5-3.
Well, it's almost. I mean, if you can call him pre-flop, sometimes he fails to follow through on his bluffs.
Raise 100 total.
Jesus is going to raise again here. He makes it 100. This time he's got 10-8 of hearts.
Raise Idas, huh?
And see if anyone calls here.
Well, I don't think anybody's calling here. And they don't. Jesus takes it down. And there we go. At the blinds of $10 and $20, he's making $30 every single time he steals the blinds.
And Kev Math on 2+2 says, I think Ed needs to start not liking Bart's commentary again or he's going to have another rough night.
Yeah.
Astute observation there.
Yeah, once again, we do our best not to take.
Yeah,
we tell. I mean, I see all these people obviously after and during.
Yeah, we
the
have to
webcast.
face them. It's not like we're doing this from a remote location.
Right. And I'll tell people straight out. I'll tell them, listen, I ripped your play tonight.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just my opinion, of course. And my opinion, could mean nothing, but it is my opinion, and obviously, these players, most of them actually are pretty good about it. They don't take it too personally.
Raise, make it 70 total.
Mike is going to raise here to 70 with ace-10 offsuit. Now, Mo's going to call with king-queen offsuit. He's in position. Seat 2 is in there with 9-3 of diamonds.
Now, we don't like king-queen
Yeah.
offsuit, but playing it in the position is a lot easier than out of position.
Absolutely. But it's still a trouble hand, but Mo's real smart. So,
He shouldn't get in too much trouble.
yeah. Well, he's hit top pair, king, 10, 4.
And
he-
Michael's hit second pair.
Yeah, ace-10. Let's see if the ace-10 bets. And he's going to bet 150. And I was going to say, you know Mo's going to raise to see where he's at. He's made it 400.
A couple of clubs out there. He certainly doesn't want to give a free card. Any Broadway card hits, it's scary.
Well, you would think that if Michael folds, you would think if Michael came back over the top, Mo would probably be done with the hand.
He very well might be, especially if he came over the back of the top and had $1,000 or so.
But you just see so many times people will just call with top pair in position, even though that's a strong move, like a raise. But then if the guy keeps firing at you, and even, especially if you improve to trips, like we saw Dan last week, you can get in real trouble.
Yeah.
Because if you're outkicked anyways,
Trips don't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise, 100 total.
Make it 100.
Yes. Can I get a setup, please?
Now, interesting play there, but, I mean, also with a board of king 10 for 2 clubs,
Yeah.
you really don't want to, smooth call that one, I
Yeah.
don't think, because a club comes out, it's scary, a jack comes out, a queen comes out.
Mo is raised here with looks like king jack suited. Ed called him with king 7 of diamonds.
200.
And Mo is going to bet here 200.
All in.
Is Ed going to call here with king 7? It looks like it, Dave. Wow.
Actually, yeah, and he's got a backdoor diamond draw
Yeah.
and a 7 draw.
But his king is obviously no good. The turn's a 9. Well, he picks up a diamond draw, and
He's
Mo's
also
going to
got
bet.
he's got a gut shot straight draw as
I'd
well.
love to see Ed raise here, Dave, but he just
Yeah.
calls.
If he raises, he takes the pot down.
Yeah. And the river is a 7, and he's backed into the best hand.
Yeah.
But Mo's going to bet anyways. And Ed lays it down, Dave. Unbelievable. Wow.
And
There's
Ed
a bluff.
Yeah, and Ed
That's
actually
incredible.
Ed actually gave the hand away because Ed even he waved his hand and said, "Oh, don't even bother putting your chips out there."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
There's a bluff there by Mo.
Well, I think on the river there, Ed was looking. He wanted a diamond or a 6, and not the 7.
Yeah, that's, if he's calling there with king 7 on the flop, I thought that he would call with any pair.
Wow. And Mo only bet another 500 on the river.
Yep.
Wow.
Incredible.
Well, that's definitely the biggest bluff of the night
Yeah.
so far.
I was surprised to see Mo bet in there because I would think if I was Mo that, well, geez, he's called me all the way now. What kind of draw was he on? And he's going to call me with any pair, and it looks like he's accidentally, if he was on some sort of straight draw, probably backed into a pair with that 7 because of the straight possibilities there.
I mean,
Wow.
Ed kind of. I think Ed does respect Mo,
Yeah.
but Ed, it's scary betting into Ed because he'll call you down with ace high.
Right.
You know.
But not Mo, though. I guess
No.
Mo has too much respect. And
Wow.
Mo
There
takes it
you go.
down.
Takes time. We get a new setup here.
What'd you have there, Mo?
Once again, tomorrow's tournament is actually the Poker October going on October 1st. And tomorrow's tournament starts at 4:15. It's no limit hold'em.
Yep.
$200 buy-in, multi-rebuy tournament, and $150,000 guarantee. So you want to come down, you can actually register online, or you can come on down here. We're located in Bell Gardens, about 10 miles south of Los Angeles.
The beautiful Bell Gardens.
Oh, yes.
I gotta tell you.
Similar to Carson, Inglewood,
Oh,
Compton.
what are you trying to say?
300 C.
The button, I believe, is in seat 5. And midnight there, actually, Hav, he's actually come in. He took a break for a little while.
Yeah,
he's
he's
back
posting
in
behind.
And when you post behind, actually, you have to post the small blind and the big blind. And the small blind is dead money. And that goes in the pot right away.
So four-way action here, limped around ace 7 8. So we have 3 blinds in the hand, Dave. Jesus limped in on the button with 9
And I want to say
3.
George is the best hand here with 7-3, huh?
Looks like it.
120 is the bet.
Jesus is going to bet 120. George has got second pair with a weak kicker. He's not going to get involved. It looks like Jesus is probably going to take it down. Yep, position bet
Yeah,
there.
that's an $80 pot he takes down there. And that's a pure bluff.
I think I like Mo's bluff right now, though. The Mo's, Dave. So far. But we've got 2.5 hours
Long way
left.
to go.
Yeah.
Long way to go.
And that bottle of Camus from a few weeks ago ended up costing Ken and James about $15,000 to $17,000.
Yeah. That was interesting, actually. He actually did say he was happy about the fact that he'd have a story when he opened it.
Yeah. Negative $17,000 story.
You know, somehow I don't feel bad for the guy. He's had a pretty good September.
Yep.
Obviously, we're
And there was
referencing the
just
fact
there was
that-
so much discussion about that hand, and it was just it was almost like they weren't deep enough on the river for him to make that bet to get Barry Woods off the hand.
Yeah.
You know.
We're actually talking about a hand 2 weeks ago this
Yeah.
Friday, where I think Barry Woods, player in seed 8, who now has pocket jacks.
And he's in the blind, and he's going to raise. He's going to make it 100. Raise to 100, so it's 100 more for everyone.
And Mike Hutchinson calls. Wow.
And
everybody-
Hav calls with a suited connector. Jesus has got 9-6 of hearts.
Well, together they have something.
And George has got Jack 8 here. His hand, the card combination there really doesn't work together. He
No,
is in position.
It's the only reason he's considering calling right now is because he happens to be on the button.
Oh, he's going to muck.
And Amir mucks the 4 or 5 clubs.
Barry's in pretty good shape here. It's a $400 pot plus the limpers and the button. And he flops a set. Ace, Queen, Jack, couple of diamonds.
I mean, Barry must be the luckiest guy in the world. All he does is flop sets.
But sometimes we've seen him slow play, but this time he's going to bet right in. I love it with overcards, Dave.
Well, he's hoping somebody's called him with an ace.
Yeah.
Turns out nobody has, but he's
Yeah.
hoping.
He bets the size of the pot, and unfortunately for him, no one really has a part of that.
Well, I mean, it can be somewhat of a scary board. There's 2 diamonds out there, 3 Broadway cards. If a 10 or a king come, it's got to be scary.
10, a king, you don't know where you're
Any
at.
diamond.
Any diamond, yeah.
And he takes down a $400 pot there. And Barry Woods adds to his stack.
The myth, the legend. He's probably won more money in Live the Bike than anyone, Dave. I mean, we saw him call down Gore's bluff from 6 months ago to the tune of several $1,000s. We saw him make money off of Kenna twice that night. We've seen him make some huge, huge calls. The only misstep I remember him making was actually last week, Dave, when he had made a call all the way down in the river and the guy bluffed him off the hand. He had the best hand the whole time.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Of course, when we're talking about these hands, you can go back and watch the hands by signing up for the archives. Just click on the archive banner at liveatthebike.com. $14.95 a month, Dave. A subscription gets you all of the saved action, over 1,700 hours of live cash poker, 8 or 9 months.
7 player.
7-way action here. It's been limped around, which means it's a $140 pot. Jack 7 deuce rainbow. Hobby's got King Jack.
A couple players have jacks here.
Betting 70.
He's going to bet 70. Barry is in the small blind with a weak jack, Dave. And he checked it from up front.
Not much of a draw out there.
No, you wonder what Barry's going to do. He's going to call. And I'd love to see, you wonder if Hobb puts pressure on him. And look at this. Ed's going to call with King 8, Dave.
He's got a backdoor flush draw.
Backdoor clubs and an overcard. If the king comes, it's no good.
Well, the 8 came, and that's no good.
Yep. And let's see how much Hobb pushes here on the turn.
And still, if Ed catches a king, it's still no good.
But look at this. Barry, he's going to bet here.
Betting 250.
He's going to bet 250. Now, there weren't a lot of draws. That turn card could probably only help a hand like Jack 8 or 7-8.
I got to tell you, if Ed calls this, I don't think that Hav can call on seat 4.
Really?
If Ed calls. If Ed doesn't call, Hav can call. But can Hav overcall?
How much is the bet here on the turn?
Looks like $250, I want to say.
$250.
And the pot was about
Ed
400.
calls.
Let's
with
see
king
now.
8.
Now
This
this
puts
is
Hav in a real tough spot.
yeah. I mean, it's tough to overcall this because all he's got is a top pair with a king kicker. It's not that big a hand.
Yeah, burn already.
Can't beat ace jack. Can't beat 2 pair.
The bet on the flop was 70, so I want to say now that the pot is about $700. 200 for him to call.
A lot of hands he can lose to here. Obviously, a set he can lose to if somebody had 7-8.
He's going to make the. Oh, he's going to raise, Dave.
Wow.
He's going to see where he's at. I actually like that as opposed to calling.
Well, always.
Yeah. How much is he raised to here?
He's actually in great shape.
He's going to raise. He's going to make it 600 more. So the call of 250 and 600 more means it's a $1,550 pot. 600 for Barry to call.
And this is a pretty easy laydown for Barry here. And Barry's got to know that his jack is no good with only a 3 kicker. At best, he's drawing to 3 outs. He might even be drawing dead.
Now, you say that Hav plays in this game a lot off camera, so Barry must know that he's a solid player.
I would
as well.
imagine so. That's a real solid play by Hav, but I tell you, that's not an easy call. Not an easy call at all because you've got the jack. A lot of hands you can lose to there.
Well, and Ed hadn't shown down these hands, but if Hav had watched Live at the Bike a lot, you can't necessarily give Ed credit for a hand just because he called in the middle.
No, of course not.
Yeah. And it's interesting, if Ed calls and a king comes on the river, will Ed go broke?
Well, there are a lot of cards that can make you broke.
Uh-oh,
Jack
Barry's going to call.
Wow.
Oh, boy, $2,100 pot, and the action's back over to Ed. And
Now, this is going to be interesting. Depending on what comes out on the river, we could see some fireworks.
Will Hav make a value bet, or will he just check it down? The river is a 5.
Let's see if Barry tries to...
And
nope.
Barry looks like he immediately checks. It's Barry. Oh, wait a minute. Barry's going to bet. It's Barry and Hav in the hand. Ed is out of the hand.
And we're
It's
getting word that Barry...
$1,000 bet here. $1,000 bet here. And Hav calls. So Barry put in kind of, I guess you want to say, a stop/value bet on the river there, Dave?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think it was a garbage bet, to be honest with you. I love Barry. He's a nice guy, but I think that was a crap bet on the river.
No.
I just don't see what's $1,000 going to do. The
Wow.
pot's $2,100.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to bluff him off the hand, because if he thinks Hav's got a bigger jack than him, which is what he's got to think he has.
Yeah.
If you think Hav has a bigger jack, well, then you got to bet more than that. You got to make a $3,000 bet. Then maybe Hav lays it down.
Well, regardless, a $4,000 pot there, biggest pot of the night. Hav takes it down. Well, what I mean by that is maybe it was a bet that Barry put in there that he was comfortable with calling. But
It was clear that Hav had a better hand than him. Though. I mean, it was just, to me, I mean,
there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a big
cards.
draw out there on the
Yeah,
flop.
the flop is
Potential
Jack
lose,
7 deuce,
Right.
We haven't heard from Hav all night.
Jack 7 deuce rainbow, yeah.
I just don't buy the fact that, I mean, you think Hav was bluffing on the flop, and then he bluff raised on the turn into 2 players? I mean, hey, I know we're privy to the cards and we can see them.
Yep. Well, Barry needed to get away from the hand, obviously.
I think so, on the turn.
Way earlier than the river, that's for sure. It's debatable.
I like the bet on the turn. I like him betting right in.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to steal it away, but once he gets raised, he's got to know.
Yeah. All he had was a weak jack.
Yeah. And I was actually going to say, wow, when the third heart comes on the river, can Barry try to kind of represent backdoor flush?
Hearts, yeah.
Backdoor hearts. And he could have done that maybe if he throws in 2,500 or 3,000.
Queen 4-6 here on the flop. And again, that's a very advanced play because he might make a bet on the turn with a pair and a flush draw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're thinking there. A lot of players will call with one pair and a heart, and then when the second heart hits the board, go, oh, wait a second, now I can bet it. My hand's strong to bet.
And Hav made a raise, and I called anyway, so maybe I'm on that heart draw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you can
if
represent
we're going by that theory, then obviously the bet on the river was not big enough.
Well, the pot's 3,000. What you said
Yeah.
it was 2,100 on the turn.
Yeah.
So you're talking a $3,100 pot, only 1,000 to call.
Turns a 5 here, and Jesus is going to bet here again. He's putting the pressure on. He's picked up an open-ended straight draw, $160 bet. And Amir is going to call. He's got an open-ended straight draw with a pair. And the river is a 5. Let's see what Jesus does. He doesn't bluff a lot on the river, Dave. But
And he is.
He's going to bet 400.
Wow. I don't think in my whole time of watching Jesus I've ever seen him bluff on the river.
It's slightly under the size of the pot.
It's a nice
And
bluff,
look at
though.
that. Amir takes it. He's going to fold, and Jesus takes it down.
Nice bluff by Jesus. That's a complete stone-cold bluff with
Yeah.
9 high.
So we got a couple bluffs in here tonight, Jesus and Mo. We haven't seen the huge bluffs, but there you go.
That was a great bluff by him. And I've never seen him do that on the river.
Never seen him. He might be a big Rolling Stones fan. Yeah.
I actually did offer
There
him...
may be a mariachi band opening for the Rolling Stones. We never know.
There you go. I actually offered him a case of Corona in exchange for the Rolling Stones tickets.
Oh, really?
Yes. So maybe he's excited about that. I got to try to go see those Stones, huh? Maybe I'll even give him 2 cases of Corona. Wow. Amazing, really. I mean, because if I was playing in this game, I've already told myself, if Jesus ever bets in the river, I will never call him unless I have
Right.
something. And there he bluffs at it. Wow.
Mike is going to raise here with Jack 5 offsuit on the button. He makes it 100 to go. Jesus is going to call with King Deuce. And he says, I'm going to bluff big time. So Michael's really mixed up, and Barry's in there with pocket 3s.
I'm afraid of this guy.
About a $320 pot now. Ace,
Yeah.
King 4. Jesus has the best hand.
And he's got a pair of kings here. Not much of a kicker. Not much of a real hand he can beat.
Looks like it's got checked to Michael, and he's going to bet about the size of the pot, 300.
Michael's one of those players, he will, if he raises pre-flop, he will almost always bet the
Well,
flop.
why not with this type of board?
Yeah. But we've seen him now 3 times. He's raised
Like,
pre-flop.
I don't even know if Jesus is going to call here with King Deuce, Dave. I mean,
Yeah.
you can only beat a stone cold bluff.
Bad hands, but I don't play good hands.
But I mean, I guess he could have pocket 10s or pocket jacks, pocket 9s, something like that.
And this is definitely a stone cold bluff.
I'm gonna show you my pocket.
I mean, this is no pair, no draw, no nothing.
Yeah, pocket king. Yeah, it's a good fold.
Jesus shows the king when Barry's still in the hand,
I got a king.
and I don't think Barry can call, obviously. There.
And obviously that's not proper etiquette.
No.
Um,
Really?
well, it's interesting, I mean, obviously you and I know this.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that are listening or watching or new to the game that or play on the internet a lot that aren't familiar with some things that aren't proper etiquette. And showing your cards to the player next to you when there are other players involved in the hand is a definite no-no.
Well, because it gives away all kinds of information.
All sorts of information. Because why would you show somebody something? What, do you have a draw? Do you have this? If you want to fold your hand, just fold it. Don't show.
And actually, it can work in both ways. By showing a card that's on the board, it can make a weaker player say, oh, this guy's mucking second pair, well, I must muck my bottom pair because he thinks the other guy's good. Or it might make a guy in the middle think, this guy has that pair, so the chances that the other guy who's doing the betting has it is slimmer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I can definitely see that.
Pesos.
We got a raise there by Jesus with 6-5 suited. He's going to raise it up to 70 under the gun.
A little bit of sweetener there.
That's Mamo.
Jesus is on a roll tonight. He's actually having a pretty good night, huh?
And Ed is going to re-raise to 370 with ace-6 in position.
Well, there you go, Ed. I love it when Ed re-raises. I want to see him raising more.
$300 raise. I might pick my spots a little bit better, Dave. But,
I don't think anybody's gonna play.
but it looks like he's going to
Certainly
take
better
it
than
down.
calling, though.
I'm the loose player. I'll call you. Huh? Make it 100, I'll call you.
And Barry's got ace-9.
And he's going to pick up about a $220 pot here, isn't he?
Michael actually has king-jack over there in seat 9, and he's going to muck.
It doesn't make a difference. Ed takes it down.
Yeah.
Lost in translation.
Well, obviously, I mean, Jesus, he plays a very unorthodox style, but for
Right.
those of you that are, trying to learn, I mean, obviously, there are some fundamental moves pre-flop as well. No Limit is actually more of a post-flop game than I would say Limit is, which is actually more of a pre-flop game.
Yeah.
But normally coming in for a raise or even playing a suited connector up front is very dangerous in No Limit.
Yeah,
He was under the gun there with 6-5 suited.
I mean, generally when I'm playing no limit hold'em, I want to look for excuses not to play hands out of position.
Yeah.
Early in position, there's just not a reason for it.
Look at this. Russ McGinley on 2+2 says, finally Barry loses a hand. He can only win, it seems, by calling. He bet the river there.
There you go.
Yeah. I just want to know what Hob would have done there on the river. If
Had he faced
yeah.
a $3,000 bet.
No, how about if it got checked to him? Would he have just checked behind
Oh.
it?
120.
I mean, there are a couple things.
Yeah.
We have a $120 raise there by Ed with ace-9, and Hav has a real hand. Well, Hav has got ace-queen in seat 4. Ace-queen of hearts.
Screw mama out of 2 chips, huh?
3 players.
And he makes the call. We've got 3-way action. 8-6-5.
Jesus has actually picked up the best hand
Top
here.
pair.
Check on the dark.
And he's got a gut shot straight draw.
He said he checks in the dark. And Ed looks like he's going to bet.
And he's got the same gut shot straight draw.
He bets 250. Hav is probably going to get out here with ace-queen. Let's see what Jesus does. He calls.
He's got the best hand here, and he's really got Ed over the coals.
Turn is a 6. He continues to have the best hand. Pot's about $800. Ed bets another 250.
Yeah, and Ed needs a 7 here to chop the pot, or an ace to win the pot. So
Jesus
he's drawing
calls.
slim.
And the river is a 9, and that gives Jesus 9s and 8s.
Yeah.
And he checks it, and Ed bets. Let's see what Jesus does here.
Well, and Ed's got 9s and 6s.
Yeah. Jesus checked. And Jesus just called, Dave. I think he might have been scared of the overpair. Obviously, any overpair would have been better than Jesus' 9s and 8s.
Right, of course.
And he played that hand pretty conservatively.
250 out here.
And that's about a $1,500 pot that Jesus takes down.
You know what? He was looking. I don't know if he knew that he actually won the hand or not.
7.
And we're giving change to Ed for the $1,000 chip that he put in there.
Yep.
750.
That's a
And it was a 250 bet on the river.
yeah, $15 or $1,600 pot there.
And Jesus is on a roll.
My goodness, if Jesus knew what Ed had, that was a great card to actually put a lot of money in on the
Yeah.
river. I mean, ace-9, and I have 2 higher pair with 9-8.
Oh, obviously. And,
Yeah.
and Ed might have definitely would have called another $500 or maybe even more.
Lines, please.
But Jesus is on a roll. Smoking hot
Like
tonight.
you said, if he hits a bunch of cards, Dave, he can really go on a rush.
Without a doubt. And he's mixing up his game pretty good. I mean, he played it pretty conservative with top pair.
Yeah.
Bluffed, you saw before earlier.
Mike is limped in with Queen 10. Ed's going to limp in with King 6.
And I think Hobb is putting on his rally cap there. I'm not sure if it's for the poker game or for the Red Sox.
Again, where's the
100.
where's the Jesus Love Tuckman
I don't
hat?
know where that came from.
I don't know what
100.
happened.
I'm sorry.
There's no love in here anymore.
80 to go.
Jesus has raised to 100 straight with King 9 of diamonds out of the blind. Boy, Mike's going to call. He's played a lot of hands. Queen 10 offsuit. And Ed's in there with King 6, Dave.
King 6 offsuit.
And Hollywood Russ with the Ace 7 is going to play as well.
Wow.
$400 pot.
Just one?
4 players.
To the flop.
10-3-3.
Well,
No
Michael's
one-
flop top pair.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this much.
And Jesus is going to bet 200 into a $400 pot. Let's see what Mike does.
Yes.
Let's see if Michael's got a... and he's going to raise it here.
Yep. Looks like he's going to make it 600.
You don't want me in that hand?
Time.
Did you order anything? I ate.
And Jesus can be somewhat of a crazy player, but he's not suicidal. I imagine he's going to lay this one down.
I'm going to try to get a drunk.
And he
if you're
did.
lucky, so.
Mike takes it down.
Sometimes it works with me and your wife.
There we go. That is Michael Hutchinson. Michael Hutchinson is actually, like I said before, he's the founder of the World Poker Players Organization.
That's called the low
And if you want some information about that, you can actually go to theworldpokerorg.com.
Barry likes to go
There you
low,
go.
so he-
Of course, again, you can follow a live thread started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com. Click on the forums link, the World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments, the official live at the bike thread for September 30th. And we're going to look at another chip count.
There we go. And Hav is 7,300. He had up big after that big hand with Barry Woods. Barry down to 6,800. Ed's down a little bit. He's down to 3,900. Mo's got 3,000. Where is Mo, though? And Hollywood is bringing up the rear with only $820. What is Hollywood doing?
5 players.
5-way action. Looks like the pot was limped around. 8-5-4, a couple spades on board here.
And Jesus has got a pair here
Yeah, he's got
and a gut shot straight draw.
6-5.
And I believe he has the best hand.
Michael has bet 80 here with the gut shot, ace-7. Hollywood Russ is going to call with ace-10. Is he setting up a move if he picks a spade up on the turn, Dave?
I would hope that's what he's thinking.
And
That his
Jesus
overcards
calls.
plus any spade might be a good card.
Well, the turn's a queen, which doesn't really help anyone.
No, but he can represent if he wants to.
Check here. It's going to get checked around on the turn, and the river is a king.
And Jesus still has
Jesus
the best hand.
good.
Let's see if anybody's going to fire at it, though.
Yep, Russ is going to try to fire here. Looks like he's going to bet 150. And he gets Jesus off the hand. Well, there's another little bluff there for you.
Definitely.
Russ is going to take it down.
Well, so far we've seen 3 bluffs tonight, and tonight being bluff night, the winner of bluff night gets Rolling Stones tickets, pair of Rolling Stones tickets. And so far we've seen 3. We've seen Mo's bluff of Ed on the river. We've seen Jesus' bluff of Amir on the river. And there we saw Hollywood there bluffing.
Hollywood Russ. And, of course, we have aired on the poker channel. The LA poker scene has been on the
Time, please.
on the air over there in satellite TV land, Sky Satellite. I think it's channel 227, Dave. And I'd love to hear from someone that's seen the show on television over there.
LA poker scene,
Yep.
where the weather is hot and the action is scorching.
Yes, sirree.
5 players.
$100 pot here.
Pot is limped around.
I just want to play.
6-5-4, a couple spades.
Amir with the best hand here. Pair of 4s.
But Jesus is going to bet as a bluff. He bets 50. Amir quickly calls.
I need a 3.
And Barry calls. Now, the thing
Barry's
about,
open-ended here.
Yeah, Barry's got the ace-3, backdoor diamonds.
Yeah, you don't want the 7, obviously.
Turns a 5. Now let's see if Barry can represent a 5 here. He's got
Now,
a,
this is the kind of place where you might bet it, exactly.
Yeah.
He just picked up a diamond draw now also, and he's
Right.
going to bet it,
right.
which would have been the perfect spot before with those hearts.
But he needed to bet more on the river.
Exactly.
Yeah.
120.
It's a $2,100 pot. You got to bet the pot at least or more.
He's bet $120 here. And he's going to take it down, it looks
And
like.
that's a great bet
Well, let's see
there.
what Amir did. Amir made the call. And the river's a diamond, and he's made the backdoor diamond.
And let's see what he bets here. Let's see if it would have been the same kind of bet.
He checks it, Dave. He checks the flush. And Amir checks right behind
I
him.
mean, was he going for the check raise,
I
or was he
don't
scared of the paired board?
I got to think that he was going for the check raise, but I mean, how can you? I don't see how you can check. I understand checking to induce a bluff, but when the board is paired like that with the 5s, the guy didn't raise you on the turn, which usually means he doesn't have a 5.
Yeah.
I mean, with that kind of connected board, 2 spades, 2 diamonds, 4, 5, 6, he never showed any strength within the hand. Usually he's going to check it right behind you if you check the river there. I don't really understand the play there by Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially backdoor flush, because people
Yeah.
don't see it. It's not as obvious.
Yeah.
Wow, really strange play there by Barry. Button is in seat 8. The aforementioned Barry here has it.
Yeah, it's really cool place. They have all kinds of different stuff. Best jerky I've ever had in my life. Buffalo jerky. Incredible.
Couple
Quiet
limpers.
night on 2+2. Where's everybody?
Literally. Lives on 138, just outside of Palmdale. I'm working my way out there.
6 players.
6-way action here, limped around. Ace, deuce, 4.
Ooh, and Jesus has flopped a straight.
Flopped a wheel.
Oh.
Bicycle.
But let's see, watch. He plays it hard right away.
That's 110. Unfortunately for him, no one has an ace here.
No.
It's a good hand for the bluff.
Now, Barry on the button's got a second pair with a backdoor heart draw, but that's no good for him. He's going to throw it away.
Didn't even get the right color.
Well, that was actually Michael, but Michael threw it away anyways in first position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nobody plays these hands.
And he shows the wheel.
Bet too much. Check one time, let me catch up. Let me catch up, man.
Well, I mean, he showed the wheel, Dave, there. So, again, it's really difficult to put him on a hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
he'll bet it as a bluff or not, either way.
Playing
So.
his advantage.
And Hob giving him some advice there.
Nice, please.
That might just burn him later on. He
Right.
says, check it once. Let me catch up.
Yeah.
Instead of winning a $200 pot, you can lose a $4,000 pot.
Well, that's always good advice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the kind of advice you should give an opponent.
Yeah.
Not advice that we'd give, obviously.
Nobody takes the medication you take either. You do.
Limped around here. 4-way action. 7-4-3, couple of clubs,
Well, Michael's picked up the club draw.
and a pair.
Just a guess.
He's got the best hand, best draw, and the button.
He has bet here. Bets 50, and Ed makes the call, Dave, with middle pair and a gut
Oh,
shot.
actually, I thought he actually had the best hand. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
2 players.
The turn is a 10. Ed's hand is still good. Mike's going to bet again here. Just 100. I don't think Ed's going to go anywhere with that bet. He does make the call. And the river is a 4, and Ed is tripped up.
I check.
And he checks it.
I call.
And Mike bets 200. And is Ed going to pull the check raise here? I mean, boy, if you've got trip 4s, you got to think you're good. There aren't a whole lot of draws that were made there on the river.
Now, generally, if a guy takes that long to think about it and then check
Yeah.
raises,
Raise.
he's got it.
He's going to raise to 600 straight, so 400 more.
And look at that! Look at that look by Mike there. He kind of looks like he ate something funny.
Well, it's like, how does this guy call me all the way down with a pair of 4s? You know?
Well, there's not much he can beat here. I mean, the only thing he can beat is like a busted straight draw. Like if actually, I can't even beat that. I'm trying to think of what he can beat. Not much. Pair of 3s.
You mean if the guy had deuce 5?
That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
If he had deuce 5, maybe.
Is Ed capable of making a check raise bluff on the river? Though? No offense to Ed, but we haven't seen
Well, no
that
offense to-
really ever.
Yeah, most players don't make
Yeah.
a check raise bluff on the river.
Right.
That's a really, really advanced move to do
Yeah.
a check raise bluff on the river. Is Michael just Hollywooding it up here or what?
He might be russing it up.
Russing it up. There you go. Well, I did tell all these guys that they're on the web and
Yeah, he's
and,
gonna get rid of it,
Maybe
yeah.
in England, so he's getting his camera time there.
Yeah.
Take it down, Ed.
Ed hits the trips and he takes it down.
Big pussy.
Thank you.
Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman. I'm here with Bart Hansen, and we're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are $10 and $20. There's well in excess of $30,000 to $40,000 at the table right now.
Dave, do you ever play in this game? I've hopped into it sometimes. But
I have.
sometimes the game plays so big, you really need a big bankroll to play it.
Yeah, I've played it a few times, actually. I actually played it the other night, right before I went to Hawaii. I played it 2 nights in a row. Started 6-handed, and I actually played it till about 8 in the morning. Got down to 3-handed.
Wants a straight.
Just in case he backdoors one?
I'd love to play in the Friday night version. So one of these nights we'll get Shirley Rosario in here, and I'll play in the game.
Barry has raised here. Got 7-5 offsuit. Ed calls with Queen 10. He's on the button. Russ is out. Hob is out. Jesus is in there with 5-4 offsuit.
3 players.
So 3-way action is about a $360 pot. Ace Jack 4. And Jesus is the only one with a pair. Barry bets 120.
And he's got a gut shot straight draw.
And Ed calls with a gut shot.
Yeah, Barry's got nothing. He bet with
Barry-
absolutely nothing
yeah.
there.
Turn is a deuce. Now Barry has a straight draw. As well as Jesus. And Ed has overcards with a straight draw. Of course, he doesn't know that.
Look at us trying to manufacture what these guys have, and none of them
Yeah.
have anything really.
Jesus checks. Where Barry's really in a tough spot here.
No, he's not. He's in an easy spot. Throw your hand away.
Well, he's going to bet. Well, it got checked to him.
I know.
Give me time, I'm old, okay?
He's going to bet. $350.
Sometime this year.
350.
Oh, Ed's
I
out of
imagine
there.
he's going to take this down.
Well, Jesus has got the pair and the gut shot.
Come on, raise it up, Jesus.
I only have his one pair.
And Jesus lets it go. And there's
And-
another bluff.
And there's a bluff by
All right.
Barry Woods.
No, that's not mine.
It's one of those types of situations. I was wondering, if Ed had called, if Barry realized, again, kind of these hidden themes that we find in the show over the course of months on Live at the Bike. Ed could have accidentally fallen into a pair at the end there and had the best hand if he kept calling with Queen 10 for the
Right.
gut shot. So I was wondering if Barry would have followed through with a bet on the river because,
Well, he would have had to, right?
yeah.
Unless he caught a pair or something.
Right. Well, yeah, obviously he couldn't beat anything.
Yeah.
It needs to be a bigger bet to get the.
Well, it's one of those times he probably would have bet the river unless
Right.
he caught a 7 or a 5. Or a straight, obviously.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Hi, Si.
Well, actually, if he caught a straight, he probably bet also.
No, I think he'd bet with a straight.
Well, you never know, actually. He made the flush and he checked.
Right, right.
So.
Who? I mean,
And this is bluff night. You've heard us talking about it. The biggest bluff of the night, Stone Cold Bluff of the Night, will get 2 tickets to a Rolling Stones concert.
3 players.
And
Three-way action here. Flop comes 9-3-6. Hobbs going to bet on top pair.
Amir's got second pair. He throws it away.
He's going
though.
to get rid of it. Well, playing the player there, obviously.
Yeah, takes it away there. And we need your help, actually, to pick the biggest bluff of the night. So please email us at liveatthebike.com with any of your questions, comments, and who you think is the biggest bluff of the night and why.
You had a vote. You had a vote.
And we'll tally up those votes later on.
Is he trying to make fun of you? JD?
I think so.
I'm not making fun of you.
And I tell you, this weekend might be some of the most exciting baseball that we've seen in years.
Oh, yeah.
Really
especially at the
exciting. I
end
mean, in terms of regular
season.
season.
Yeah.
Was I just under the gun?
Button is in seat 4. That's midnight. Midnight Hob.
Mike limps in here in early position with King 5. And Hob is in there with Ace 5 suited on the button. And the flop comes 9-3-6, a couple of diamonds.
I think it's missed everybody.
Well, seat 7 has an open-ended straight draw with his 7-8, and
Oh, there
he's
you go.
going to bet. Boy, Hob's pretty straightforward here, huh, isn't he?
Yeah, Amir's actually got 7-8.
Right, 7-8. He had an open-ended straight draw.
Well, that's important to bet your draws.
Yep.
Can't always rely on them coming.
Live straddle. No, I'm going to go home.
And we're getting word that our producer's actually headed out of town. I think she's headed to Australia tomorrow.
Yeah.
She might already be there. So, do apologize for any of the cards being mixed up. That's great. She'll be in Australia, and I'll be in the unemployment line.
Yeah. Looks like is it straddle here by seat 9? Straddle by seat 9.
I know that.
And I got to tell you, I hate to always point these players out, but if the Greek poker god Georges doesn't come back in seat 6, I'm going to go out there and play for him.
Jesus is raised here, Dave, with 9 deuce suited from seat 5. Looked like he made it 130 or 120 to go.
That's the whole.
That was the winning hand right
And Mike calls with Jack 9, and Russ is in there with King Queen. Now, Russ is out of position, and Jesus has pretty much just raised it with a garbage hand here. $360 pot. Ace 10-7. Well, if Jesus bets here, Dave,
Yeah.
Jesus is on the button.
Yeah, both players have gut shot straight
Oh,
draws.
and Jesus did not bet the flop. The turn is a club.
Yeah, both players still just have draws.
And now Russ is going to bet. See
And
if
he
he
actually has the
steals
best hand.
$180.
Best hand and probably the best draw.
Now, Jesus has pulled that play again. Sometimes I see it here at Live at the Bike. I mean, people will raise with garbage hands, and then when they don't hit a flop that is actually scary, they don't bet.
Right.
In position. Doesn't make any
Right, if you're in
sense.
if you're going to raise pre-flop with garbage,
Yeah.
I'm not advocating that, but if you are going to do it and you're in position
And then ace comes?
and everybody checks to you,
Yeah.
That's the chance to take it away.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the whole point. You're representing,
Yeah.
you're representing a big ace.
Yeah.
You can't be scared of the check raise. If you get check raised, okay, throw it away. And our looks like our chip guy's getting a little friendly with Mo there. I think Mo's enjoying it too.
200.
And Jesus is going to raise 200. Ace 6 of diamonds.
And he's in position again. He's bought himself the button. When I say buying himself the button, basically you're getting the players between you and the button
Got
out.
it.
Thus, you get to act last on every other round. I don't think anybody called him here.
No,
He takes it down.
he took it down.
And it's a tight race for the big bluff of the night so far.
We haven't really seen a lot of big bluffs
No, the
yet.
only two big bluffs I saw were Jesus and Mo, really.
Yeah. And I think Mo's was actually, in my personal opinion, a little bit
Do you?
gutsier. Yeah.
I love Jesus. He's 9 high.
Harry needs a timeout.
Well, it doesn't really matter what they have. They both knew they didn't have the best hand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, want to begin?
Although maybe Mo put that bet in there again. You know, if
You
Ed,
never know, actually.
Ed had an accidental pair, which he caught on the river.
Right.
If Mo had checked it down, he would have lost.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Ed, the one thing for Mo, at least, Mo did have the best hand throughout until the river.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of poker left to be played still.
And my wife wouldn't even come your way, big guy.
7-way action here.
$40.
Limped around, ace 3,
Sell your
8.
house, though, if you're interested.
Barry's playing a weak ace, ace 9 over there on the button.
Yeah, Amir's got spade draws. Amir's got a spade draw and the gut shot wheel draw.
Jesus bet 40. Amir called,
140.
and Barry's going to raise with top pair. Makes it 140.
I'll show you. And I'm not worried.
I don't really know what Mo's thinking. I wonder if he knows. The action's on Mike, I guess. No, Mike is out of the hand.
No, it's,
I don't think Mo knows the action's on him. The action's on you, Mo. Somebody tell him.
The fox is on the button.
Gosh, Mo's a good-looking
Push
guy.
him in. Push him in.
Is that what he wants us to tell
There
him?
we go.
Is that what I think he was waiting for that.
Oh, okay.
You didn't talk. I made you something.
Amir is called and Jesus is out. Turns a 4. Now Amir has a straight, a pair as well. Pair and a straight draw. Yep. Flush draw, straight draw, pair. Barry's going to bet.
350.
He bets $350. And Amir has a ton of outs here, Dave, on the river.
Yeah, he's got a huge amount of outs.
Yeah.
Any 4, any 5, any spade, any 2.
Yep. Let's see the river. And the river's a 3.
You know, I go through all the effort to name all those outs, and then a 3 of hearts comes out.
And it just gets checked down here on the river. Yeah, you know, if you put Barry on an ace, Dave, your hand is almost good enough to either bet right out huge on the turn or check raise him on the turn.
Well, it would have been a nice time for a stop bet on the turn, huh?
Well, I'm saying that it's also,
check raise big.
strong enough for a huge semi-bluff to take it down right
Running
there.
out
Yeah.
my dad's Marinol.
I mean,
Especially Amir's images. He's pretty tight.
yeah. Especially if Barry has something like ace 10, ace jack, where he didn't raise pre-flop, ace 9. You've just got so many outs there.
Although Barry has trouble getting away from top pair. You wonder if he laid it down.
He does, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be scared to bluff Barry.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the image he wants to portray. He doesn't want people bluffing
I
him.
wish I did.
So he,
You should lay down there. 9 kicker, you can't throw.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't a real good hand. I'm
and look at
embarrassed
that.
with it.
Chicago White Sox and Cleveland Indians are in extra innings.
50.
Jesus is going
I
to
missed
raise
the
here to
entry here.
50. Jack 9 of clubs.
I don't know the name. I'd recognize him probably.
And the
Yeah, he was
great
playing
poker
against
guy, I don't know where he was, but he's finally back and he calls.
George calls
He's
for
a
the
nice
suited
guy,
connector.
yellow.
Barry's in there with
Michael calls.
ace 4.
King 7 offsuit.
And Hobb is in there. Wow.
Michael loves to play on the button. You know, he loves to play his button.
Wednesday, he was
$200 pot.
right there.
Flop comes 7-5-3, couple clubs. Jesus has a flush draw.
Yeah, I think George is the best hand here, though.
Well, Michael's got the king 7 over there in seat
Oh, thank
9.
you. I didn't even see it on the right.
Jesus is betting $150.
It seems like everybody's got a straight draw here.
Now, this isn't necessarily the type of thing that you want to see with 6-7 suited, and George is just going to call here. Looks like.
Call, but it's too far for me to stack mine up.
Barry is out of there with ace-4 with the wheel draw. Dave, the pot is $500 exactly, $150 for Michael on the button
500.
call. And he's going to raise.
Well, I guess if we're going to play king 7 offsuit, you know.
Well, I was wondering if George was going to raise, if he thought just top pair was good
Yeah.
there. But maybe he was trying to see what's going to happen behind him.
He's
Hav has
seen it.
pocket 6s. He's against a better, a caller, and someone who's raised in between.
Yeah,
I think those
see, all
sixes.
those
Yeah.
players in between make it
Yeah.
pretty easy to throw away 6s.
And look at this. Jesus comes over the top, all in with the flush draw and overcards.
Well, he's not in bad shape here, and he might win the hand straight now.
George mucks. How much money is it? Mike has money behind as well. I think he might have him covered.
The 5.
Mike does have him covered. Mike has $5,000.
I mean, the pot before the raise was about $1,000, and Jesus is moving in for an additional.
Now, this is a great, great semi-bluff. He's got 6 outs with his jack and 9.
It looks like another 2,200, so the pot is 3,200, 2,200 for Mike to call, and Mike has the money to call.
And how do you call this, though?
Oh,
Top
that's-
pair, which is
it's-
the king kicker. I mean, he can't even beat ace-7.
Yeah, Jesus, he raised pre-flop as well.
And to be honest with you, even against like 6-7, he's not much of a. I don't even know if he's a favorite against 6-7. It's a 4 or 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that. I
Well,
mean,
great play here by Jesus. Whether he loses the pot or not, this is a great play by Jesus.
this would be almost a Barry Woods-esque call, Dave.
Yeah, well, this is one of those times, even if you call, even if you put the other guy on high clubs,
Yeah.
as long as the guy doesn't have a king of clubs in his hand,
Yeah.
he's in pretty good shape. If the guy has, like, just random overcards like Jack 9 of clubs, he's not in bad shape.
Yeah.
He's got 15 outs.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jesus is probably slight favored with 2 cards to come here.
Now, Michael's obviously got redraw. If a Jack or
Yeah.
9 hit, Michael can still catch a king or 7.
I wish.
Again, it's about 2,200 for him to call a $3,200 pot.
Wow. Now, this is not a stone cold bluff, but this is a great, great semi bluff.
I mean, this would be a huge call. I don't see how he can make this call, and he's going to make the call.
Wow.
Holy smokes. Are they going to run it multiple times? Oh, there's the club on the turn, and the river is a 7.
Oh, and the river just conspires. It laughs at him.
Yep.
Taunts him.
Yep. Jesus is going to take it down there with the flush.
I'm sorry. I think that's a terrible call by Michael. I got to tell you.
7-2.
I mean, unless you just want to gamble. Unless you're there to gamble. If you want to gamble and you're there to have a good time, hey,
Yeah.
okay. But that's just, I mean, not much you can beat. Wow.
Blinds, please.
I love the play by Jesus, though, don't you?
Absolutely.
I mean, even if the club doesn't come, even if he loses the hand, I still like the play. I like the aggressiveness.
Let's go two, just two.
And Jesus doubles up there.
Please.
Doubles through.
Yeah.
And he's up to probably somewhere in the range of $5,000.
I think we both got excited there with the club, huh?
Yeah.
Anytime Jesus wins a pot, I'm excited.
Time.
I love Estrada.
And for those of you that are looking for that guy in Seat 9's his website, it's www.worldpoker.org.com.
Right.
Interesting. See
Well, it's like
people
World
posting up
Poker Organization, worldpokerorg.com.
WorldPokerOrg.com.
And Michael Hutchinson there, the guy who just made that call,
Yeah.
is the founder of that
Yeah.
organization.
A little late, but
Now you want to be a bully?
No bowling, no bowling.
Live straddle here by Jesus.
And I'm not sure off the top of my head or not, but I would say that's probably about, what do you think, 50-50?
I think
Pretty
Jesus
much.
was favored.
I made 52-48. I mean,
Yeah.
real close.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess with the dead money in there already, it's not a bad call by Michael.
Well, how is that? If he's, I mean, Jesus could have an overpair. You can't
Well,
necessarily
that's
put him
why.
on an overcard.
Unless,
to the flush
right.
draw.
I'm saying if you knew it was 50-50,
Oh,
it's not a
no.
bad call.
If
to
you
me,
knew
it's-
exactly what he had. Yeah.
Right. But in the end, you couldn't even beat ace-7.
No. King 4-4 turns at 10. Mike's picked up a pair now, and he's going to bet.
Right, if you put him on a range of hands, basically, if you put him on just overcards with a club draw,
Yeah.
you're 50-50.
Right.
And almost every other hand, you're a huge dog.
Yeah. That's what we talked about, putting somebody on a range of hands. If you think he has a club draw and overcards 50% of the time, okay. Well, the other 50% of the time,
What are you putting him on?
you're like at least an 80 to 90% dog.
Right, even if you
against
put him
an
on- even-
overpair, a higher ace.
Yeah. Even if you put him on 7-6 there with top pair with a gut
Yeah.
shot straight draw, you're still not a huge favorite there because he's got
Yeah.
4 outs for the straight draw,
Right.
3 more outs for his 2 pair. He still has 7 outs there.
Yeah.
You're obviously favored in that case, but not a huge favorite.
Still lactating?
What?
Wow, the action is hot here.
Who's picking on you?
We are
Pocket-
live at the bike.
Mama, get him.
Pocket Jacks over here for seat
I
7.
forget him.
That's Amir. It looks like Amir limped in here with the Jacks.
Mama told the funny. Mama told the funny.
You want to kiss your
I don't know how you can call with King 7 there, Dave. I mean, I'd be saying the same thing if it was Barry Woods that called.
Heads up.
Well, we said it. We said it before he even made the call.
Yeah.
I said I love the play by Jesus, and
Yeah.
I don't think you can call that
Yeah.
with King 7.
100 go.
Not 2,200 more. Hey, 500 more, fine.
Yeah.
Pot odds, okay.
2 players.
Ed has raised here to 200 with Ace 10, and Amir calls with Pocket Jacks. And Amir's in great shape here. 5-5-9. Amir checks the overpair, and Ed checks right behind him. And the turn is an 8 of hearts.
And they both have a heart, but Amir's got the jack of hearts.
He's betting $300 into a $400 pot, $700 pot, 300 to call, and Ed doesn't even know that he would be trying to spike a non-heart ace here, a 2-outer if
Yeah,
he
he's
makes
got
the
2
call.
outs. Yeah. He's thinking about it.
He's got 2 outs. And he makes the call.
Well, Amir played the hand a little sneaky. He checked the flop.
Oh, the river's a 7. It was going to go crazy, Dave.
Yeah.
If I saw an ace there. It was offsuit.
An offsuit ace there.
Amir bets 400. Ed is not going to call.
And Ed throws it away.
Well, Ed didn't pay him off with ace 10 this time, or ace high this time.
Thank you, players. Robbie, everybody in.
And once again, we're live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Lines are 10-20, and there's a chip count for
We're going to
us.
look at another chip count. So Barry has got the
It's okay.
table covered there with
He's actually
7,100.
rebought a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's down a little bit for the night. Javi, I believe, is up a tiny bit for the night. He's been hovering right around there. And Jesus is actually probably the big winner. Because I think he started either in the low thousands,
$1,000.
1,000. Or he started at 1,700, we're getting where at the beginning.
Right, when the
of night.
webcast, when actually he was in the game at 5:30, 5:15, and he started with 1,000.
Okay.
So when the webcast started, he had 1,700.
Yeah, and I don't think he had rebought in between the
he's
time he
haven't.
sat and beginning of the show. So there you go.
Mo was also up about $1,000, $1,200.
Buttons over there in seat 4.
Okay.
And once again, live at the bike, we webcast Monday through Fridays now, 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific time.
And Jesus is going to raise. He's going to raise out of the blinds.
He's got a real hand here. He's got King Queen offsuit, sort of a real hand.
$80 raise. George calls with pocket 4s. And Amir's called with ace deuce here, and Ed's in there with 9-6. $320 pot to the flop 4 ways. Here we go. 9-5-3.
And Ed's got flop top pair.
And Ed's going to bet. Looks like 200. Jesus is not going to take one off with the overcards.
If I stay, I win.
Let's see what George does here, Dave. Some people would put a bet in right in on the flop with pocket 4s.
King queen.
He's going to muck. Amir has a gut shot wheel draw. He mucks wisely, as George had 2 4s. And Ed is going to take it down.
Well, Ed's usually checking and calling. When Ed bets, He usually has something.
Yeah. Dave, I just got word that the Red Sox won and that Chicago and Cleveland are in extra innings. Now, if Cleveland loses tonight, the Red Sox will be in great shape because they'll be a game up in the wild card.
Right, and they'll
they'll be
they're
tied.
tied with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Well, it makes for an exciting Saturday and Sunday of baseball.
Well, there was always this discussion, are the White Sox just going to lay back because they've clinched the Central and not really play hard?
Right. Well, obviously they're playing hard. The only thing is, like, their starting pitcher, they only let him go 5 innings.
Right. Well, the beautiful thing about baseball is you don't want to take the starting pitchers out of their routine.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't give them off, not like a quarterback who you might be the last week of the season. You
The only
take off.
difference, though, is like yesterday, I know Bartolo Colon only pitched, or 2 days ago, he only pitched 5 innings
Yeah.
because they'd already clinched. And tonight, I think Mark Burley only pitched like 5 2/3 innings.
Right.
So, kind of keeping him in the
Six-way
routine,
action
but still
here.
making them play.
Barry straddled, so we've got a straddled call.
$240.
7 spots. Or 6 spots, it looks like. Excuse me. Queen, Jack, 8.
Well, Jesus has a open-ended straight draw
Yes, he does. And he's
and
gonna bet.
overcards. Nice bet there.
Bets $200.
Pot's now 440.
Amir has a weak second pair. Jack 4. Action is on him.
This is one of those hands where Jesus is. It's a really nice bet by Jesus. It's a rainbow board. No flush out there. Why not take a shot at it? He does, and I think he's going to take it down.
I show you guys
Yeah,
one
looks like
card
it.
only.
He says, I'm going to show you one card.
I keep that knife for my breakfast.
And I don't really consider that a huge bluff.
No.
That's more of just, I mean, he probably was favored there.
You know, it's interesting we're giving away Rolling Stones tickets, Dave. The Rolling Stones, and I don't know if this is... Where are the Rolling Stones playing?
My
for
only
these tickets?
guess is the Staples Center, but I don't know.
Is it Angel Stadium? Yeah, the Rolling Stones do like a baseball stadium tour. They played in Fenway.
Oh.
My mother went and watched
Well, that's
them.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's even
and-
better.
Yeah. And they're
Watching
playing.
them under the stars there
Yep.
at Edison Field
Yep.
in Anaheim.
Yep.
Have you been there?
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a nice venue.
And I don't know if they get to play if they're playing in Dodger Stadium.
Donna, who's leading the vote?
I'm not sure, but I know they played at Fenway. I think that they played at Yankee Stadium one time.
Oh, that's
too,
cool.
Yeah. So,
They've been playing forever.
of course, the
120.
How old is Mick Jagger? 92.
70s. We got a raise here by seat 3 with Queen Jack. Hollywood Rusty makes it 120 to go. Jesus calls, and George has Ace King of Hearts.
On the button.
But it looks like he's just going to see a flop. He's going to make the call.
Wow. See, now in a game like this, now George, I don't know if George normally plays this big game or not, but in a game like this, when people are raising with such questionable hands,
Yeah.
why not take advantage of that? You have the button.
Yeah. Why not throw a re-raise in there? And
Yeah.
Jesus has got Jack 6 of diamonds. Oh, George's flop top pair.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes easy when you flop top pair, obviously.
Now, usually Russ will bet into this. No, he's going to check it.
Well, when George calls you, when Hollywood,
Yeah.
when Greek Poker God calls you, kind of playing a player, huh?
Well, it's a $360 pot, and George is going to bet 400 here with the Ace King. We got a quick shot at Corporation Mike back there.
Maybe we can get Corporation Mike in the game. Maybe Mo will take a break.
Well, we always say that, Dave. But
But he's actually there.
yeah. And George is going to take it down there.
Second table. Sit open. Okay, therefore. Yeah, because Allen is going
I mean, if we tell Mo, if we tell Corporation Mike that the biggest bluffer of the night gets the Stones tickets,
Yeah.
he might really go for it.
No.
Again, Kev Math on 2+2. The site that this guy has is World Poker. Excuse me, as I dropped the card here.
WorldPokerOrg.com.
WorldPokerOrg.com, not WorldPokerPlayer.org.com. WorldPokerOrg.com.
Please, I get 50.
Got a raise here.
Oh, and Amir's calling on the button there with Jack 8 offsuit.
Yeah.
Call.
Who was the raiser here there, Dave? It was,
I believe it was actually Mo.
no, Mo was in the blind there.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. I think it might have been Jesus with ace-5. It
Okay.
was.
Well, Mo still has the best hand, I think.
King 5-4. Mo's going to bet and see where he's at.
150.
That's
It's only-
150.
And that's where Mo's experience takes place. There's only one overcard.
Mhm.
And if nobody has a king, the likelihood is he has the best hand, obviously. Unless obviously people got 2 pair or so.
But look at this. Jesus makes the call.
Boston won.
Now what does Mo
Give me
think?
one more 4.
And set.
It's about a $600 pot. The turn is another king. Well, that might make Mo think he definitely has the best hand.
Yeah.
Bid 150.
Mo's going to bet 150 again.
Kind of make it limit hold'em here. See if he can get paid up a couple times.
Now, do you think that maybe Jesus has a pair, though, higher than my 7s if I'm Mo? You know, that'd be the thing that I'm scared of if I was Mo. The river's a 10. And Mo's going to bet.
Bid 150.
He's going to bet 150 again. And I think these are a series of stop bets, Dave.
A nice value bets, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty sure he had the best hand.
Yeah. That's
Mo
good.
put him on, maybe Mo put him on a 5 or a 4. Thought he had the best hand, and he was value betting the whole way. And just like that, Mo takes down, what, about a $1,000 pot?
Yeah. Just like that. Like it was nothing.
Little Bartism. Button is in seat 8. Small blind is
No.
Mike
Don't get your hopes up. It's buzzer.
Hershenson in seat 9.
Really?
Big blind is Mo now,
What do you mean?
seat 1.
We didn't have to even bat in the bottom.
Looks like we got a vote there for Barry Woods for biggest bluff from Aaron Woods. I wonder if that's his daughter. At a .usc.edu extension, so maybe.
She's probably hoping for the Stones tickets.
Yeah.
Well, I told my wife to come down here, and I said I'd make sure she won. Figure out a way to do it.
Got a bunch of limpers here. Here we go with the flop. 9-7 deuce rainbow. George has got top pair.
Bid 50.
And Jesus is going to bet here. He doesn't have anything. And George is going to raise. 150 there with top pair.
You see how much action George is going to get at this table.
Well, Jesus calls, Dave. Backdoor spades.
Yeah.
Overcard with the king. Turn is an ace.
Let's see if Jesus can bluff at it again.
Well, he looks like he's going to bet here.
260.
260.
Wow.
Puts George in a tough spot. Oh, he's going to raise. George is going to raise.
He just doesn't believe him.
He raises it to 600, and Jesus quickly mucks.
I got to tell you, I mean, I don't like the call by Jesus on the flop, but if you're going to call, at least he used the ace as a scare card. He tried. Didn't work this time. But it definitely wasn't an attempt at a stone cold bluff there, huh?
Not go like this.
I think that somebody fell on Jesus there in C5.
Somebody fell on him?
If I fall this way, I need you to be like, I got you. You see that? Yes.
The good times never end at Live at the Bike.
Lifestyle.
They never end, Dave.
Never.
And Jesus is going to live straddle.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we are lucky. I mean, I love my job. How cool. I mean, this is just sit here with talk about poker. It's very cool.
Ed and Hollywood Russ are out of the hands right now. And Jesus raises out of the straddle spot with ace deuce. And Dave, there's $120 in dead money,
Come on, guys, give me action.
and he's asking
I show you
to
my
get
cards.
action.
I only have a pocket pair.
I only have a packet pair.
Jesus shows the deuce,
You saw the deuce.
and he takes it down.
Jesus is toying with the table. Toying with the table.
If it's close to card, I can't call. You object to a call? No. Yeah, of course you object to a call. If I show you a card.
Show me one card, I show you one.
If you show me the deuce, I move all in. You're dominated.
Alan,
Small blind.
hey, it's on second table. Maybe he's not in the seat.
And I think Allen is going to play over Mo, seat 1,
Nice straddle.
Gracias.
at some point.
Got a live straddle here by George.
Or actually, is that Allen already? No, Mo's still there.
Two players.
Playing kind of short. We hope to get these players back to the table here.
Yeah. Now, normally at most of these tables, at most casinos, and especially at the bicycle casino, you have about 30 minutes you can leave the table.
Yeah.
But live at the bike table, obviously, we try to keep them a little, maybe 10 minutes away from the table
Yeah.
at most.
8-6-4 here.
100. 80.
Jesus is going to bet with Queen High. $80, and George calls the middle pair.
I think most of George's profit for the night has been catching off Jesus' bluffs.
And George is in pretty good shape here. He's going to need to dodge a queen. Turn is a jack. Check, check. And the river is an ace.
Well, Jesus asked for the card that he needed. Wasn't lying.
And they checked it down. 6 is good. And Dave, you know, one of the things that they don't do it here, but they do it in some LA card rooms, is they call it the third walker rule, I think it's called.
What is that?
Where the person who walks or gets up from the table, who's the third person, if they miss a round, they get picked up.
Really?
And that's to protect their...
Protect the game, obviously.
Protect the game, yeah.
No hands, nothing. I mean, whatever I get is shit. Here.
I need change this. You have chips or cash?
Limp here.
It's on me. Nobody race.
And it gets limped around.
Nobody this time.
Got a $60 pot to the flop.
Check.
Ace 9-3. Seat 9's playing a weak ace. He has ace 6. Gets
He
checked
checks it.
around.
So I take that back to $100 flop. $100 pot now.
Turns an 8. Mike did not bet, and now Jesus bets with King 8. He bets 40. And looks like Mike said raise.
Erase 50.
He made it 90.
Yeah, Mike
So-
doesn't like the call too much. He's pretty much the raiser, you know?
He made a mini raise there on the turn. He did not bet the flop, and Ed calls with a wheel draw. Wow. And Jesus is still in there. So we got a $470 pot.
Came there to see the fight.
And there's an 8.
River is an 8, and Jesus hits trips. Oh my.
He's not open.
Bet 2.
Michael bets 200,
Alan, you wanna play?
and let's see what Jesus does.
He's gonna play over.
He's gonna
He's
make
over.
the
He's
check
gonna play
raise.
play. If not, he's gonna play over. Come on.
He makes it,
It was a
think
$5
it's
chip in there, so.
1,300 straight, or it's 1,100 total, so he's check raised him 900. And it looks like Michael's going to quickly call. Oh,
Wow.
my.
Sit down.
King 8 is good. And boy, Michael slow playing the flop. He got killed.
Yeah, well,
He didn't bet with the ace on the flop. Jesus caught running 8s.
Yeah, he's up
Oh.
front, and he gave a free card there. And the river killed him.
I got to tell you, if Jesus check raises me there on the river, how do I call with ace
I
6?
always lose over here, guys. You know.
My
There's not
God.
much you can beat there.
No.
I mean, because if the guy has an ace, your 6 doesn't even play. I mean, you're basically really hoping to chop the pot.
He's on fire.
You make it. We're just saying you're hot. It's a statement.
Well, it's kind of funny. He's getting all his real hands against Michael Hutchinson, and Michael is paying him off. And then
Yeah.
he's bluffing George, the Greek poker god in seat 6, and he's bluffing off his money to him.
Yep.
Wow, I mean, that's $1,100.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the pot was
A pair of
like
aces.
$2,800. Unbelievable. Got a straddle there. And Amir is posted back. He was away from the table, and he has pocket aces, it looks like. Excuse me, it's George with pocket aces. And he's going to raise it up. See how much he makes it.
No, he hasn't raised all night, right?
I don't think so. Not
He's a pretty solid player, and he has not raised all night. I mean, solid in the sense of ABC solid.
He raised it 170. Amir quickly mocked the suited connector. And Ed has Jack 8 here, and he really should notice who's raising, Dave.
Yeah, this is a matter of playing the player. Look at the player and go, no way, am I going to call him? And he doesn't call.
No.
50-cent drop.
Got a post on here from Eurotrash. I think he's one of the fellows that pops into me sometimes on the virtual world of stud high-low.
Nice shirt.
It says, hey, Bart, are you going to play in any of the stud tables after the show? Well, this is my night, Dave, to drink beer, get sloppy, and play the 3 to 5 here at the Bicycle Casino.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday nights.
Well, there you go.
So I will not be playing online tonight. There's Corporation Mike. You might actually find me at 4 a.m. Pacific time when I get home. But
And
we'll
there we
see.
go. We got Cooperation Mike.
Yep. He's buying in for $5,000. And boy, I mean, this is just ripe for a confrontation between Corporation Mike and Jesus. They're both very deep.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we just got to make sure that somebody tells Mike about the Bluff Night.
Yeah.
And for those of you at home that don't know, this is Bluff Night. And we're going to be giving away Rolling Stones tickets to the biggest bluff of the night.
Ace Queen 7 here on the flop.
Right now, to me, it's got to be Jesus, don't you think?
With the Jack 9?
Well, I mean, just the repeated, he's had 2 or 3 different bluffs now. Mo's only had that one.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
120.
Jesus has Ace 6, and he makes it 120.
Walk, 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 walk.
Obviously, still a lot of poker to be played,
Give me action, Mike.
so we'll see.
Right now?
So it's a $120 bet there by Jesus.
I have an ace, I will.
I have no ace.
And this time, Jesus actually has an ace.
Yep, he does.
I have pocket sixes. Pocket sixes.
Ed can't make this call with Jack 8, can he? Dave?
No, he's got nothing. He's got no pair, no draw,
Yeah.
and he throws it away. And Jesus takes it down.
Oh, really?
And for those of you at home that want to help us out,
Gee, I didn't think
you
you
can
had that
email us at liveatthebike.com.
Yeah.
And let us know who you think is the biggest bluffer of the night.
Yeah.
Why?
Half an hour?
That would be great.
Every 20 minutes for
Here we go. Stone's appearances in 2005 in California, Dave. They've played at Angel Stadium in 2004 and the Hollywood Bowl. They played at the
that's it.
Hollywood Bowl.
I am
That's
definitely going to the
amazing.
Hollywood Bowl. November 6th or November 8th. I am going. That's it.
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl, I love. It's a great venue.
What is the deal here? Isn't this guy from Syracuse, New York?
It's not that hard to find out, though. He's the internet.
No, I'm talking about the way that he posted the dates up. 05, 11, 08. Don't get all English on us, Kev, now.
I never see this guy blocking.
Me? Never?
Wow, they're playing at the Hollywood Bowl. I told you I saw the Who at the Hollywood Bowl, and it's such a great venue.
Well, how about like at SBC Park up in San Francisco or Petco in San Diego? They're playing there
some
too.
great places.
Uh,
I mean, just it's like Neil Diamond going to Staples Center.
yeah.
Or Stones at like one of these outdoor places. It's just,
Oh yeah.
man, it doesn't compare.
You ever went to the old Candlestick Park? That dump up there? in
I've
Northern
been there one.
California?
I was actually there once.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wind Bowl.
Liven it up a little, you know?
And
Maybe
Corporation
raise-
Mike is going to live straddle.
Oh boy, I mean,
raise,
we haven't seen a lot of action tonight, Dave, but the last hour and a half here, we could really see some fireworks.
Oh, without a doubt.
We got some real characters on the table.
I got to tell you, I love Mo, but I'm glad to see him go.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Yeah.
just not action anymore.
Yeah.
Corporation Mike, though, on the other hand.
Jesus limps in here with Queen 7, and Jesus is hot. He's won about almost every hand he's been involved with.
Yeah, he's just a couple of bluffs to George didn't work, but besides that, he's been doing great.
Blind. All right, good. I didn't even
Here
look
we
at
go.
And Mike decides to check it there.
Rattled around here. 6-way action. So it's $240 in the pot. Jack 8-4. Ed has a pair.
How much is
Looks
that?
like he has the best hand.
At 100.
And he's going to bet 100 here with bottom pair.
it. 100 is too much?
I don't think anybody can call.
No,
I mean, nobody's got a pair or a draw.
not really.
From the outside that the signal.
Mike's got 9-6 of hearts.
He's going to let it go.
Show your bluff.
It's not a bluff. If it was, I would show you.
I always wondered, guys who are that bald, and I think Mike actually, he's got the look down. He looks like that look is good on him, the bald look. But do you literally actually have to shave your head like I shave every day on my face?
I know some people do. I'm not sure if Mike does.
I mean, it doesn't look like the guy has any stubble there. He looks like Mr. Clean.
Take my watch out.
Here we go with
There he
another chip count.
Put it all on the table.
And look at that. The crowd is chanting, Jesus,
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's
Look at him,
creeping up.
5,400.
Creeping up.
Oh.
Barry's slowly creeping down. Oh, there's a good backdrop.
Russ is up to 1,200
Yeah,
now,
he's up to-
still at the bottom, but he's made about $400.
And we got a straddle. Looks like everyone's straddling now, Dave.
Oh, the game is just getting crazy.
See, 2 straddled, and Hob just limped in with pocket jacks. And seat 7 has raised to 140 with ace 10. Is Hob going to pull the limp re-raise in seat 4
I'm assuming that's what he's planning to do.
with his jacks?
I assume.
Jacks sometimes are just jacks. Let's see if he's going to thin the field out a bit. It's a $140 raise.
Where'd you get that?
Looks like he's just playing it to hit the set,
Okay,
Dave.
well, that's a way to play it.
Conservatively.
It's a way to play it, you know.
Ed called with 9-4 offsuit. You got Queen Jack in there for Jesus.
I mean, if this board comes out 10 high or 9 high, and I was going to say, if the board comes out 9 high here,
Yeah, 9, 8, 6.
but Amir's got a flush draw and a straight draw, and
And he's the
overcards.
original raiser, and Ed comes out firing.
got
gonna
top
bet,
pair.
He's going to bet 250. The pot was 540 pre-flop.
Oh, this is going to be a monster
now a
pot.
$700 pot. It's 250, and Hobbs going to raise it up.
It's 700.
Midnight is raising it up.
He's going to make it 700 more.
Oh, this is going to get good.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do if you're Amir here? You got overcards,
Oh.
you got a straight draw, a flush draw, the nut flush draw, and overcards.
It's a $1,600 pot. 700 for Amir to call.
Wow, what do you do if you're Amir? And how deep is
You gotta
Amir?
go. Yeah, you gotta get from there. So can you do that?
He's going to make the call. Wow.
Look at this spot.
So now, Dave, the pot is $2,300.
2,300, and if you're Ed, what do you do with your 9-4 spade? 9-4
Ed
there.
mucked.
Yeah, okay, good muck there.
Turn is a 6.
How about
Let's see if
Midnight?
Hop moves all in here.
Yeah,
This was the flop last hand.
$2,300 pot.
If it was a hand,
I mean, the guy who was the raiser just smooth called.
well, the 6 has got to help you a little bit there.
And he's going to bet.
800.
He just bets 800, Dave. Very small bet in comparison to the pot size. And Amir calls. It's now
see the
about a
river?
$4,000 pot. Here we go to the river. The river's a 9, and Jacks is going to be good here. And he checks. And look at this. Hobbs going to pull the Amir's going to pull the bluff with ace high.
1100.
$1,100 bet on the river,
it's
and
not-
Hob quickly calls, and it's a $6,200 pot there. Hob checked the river, Amir bet with the ace, and just like that, Hob's been playing squeaky tight all night, takes down a huge
And
pot.
he's only won 2 hands the whole night, but I think each hand has gotten paid off to the fullest amount.
Yep.
You know, and I had to convince him to play this game. But he better tip me now.
What'd you think about the check there on the end?
I like the check at the end because you're looking at it going, he induced a bluff. You know, if the guy missed, he was going to bluff, and he induced a bluff. And it was kind of to me,
Yeah.
it's kind of a silly bluff at the end by Amir. Obviously, we're privy to the hands once again. We can
Yeah.
see them, but
Edgar, can you call
the pot's $4,000.
Yep.
You're betting 1,100 to 4,000. You think that's going to get you off the hands? You know, you have a spade draw. The likelihood of him having a spade draw is not very good.
Transform the sharks here. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh, Jesus has straddled, and he's picked up queens from the straddle spot in
Uh-oh.
seat
Come on,
5.
don't do anything stupid. There you go.
And Barry's been playing pretty tight all night. He
I
limped
tell you,
like-
if you haven't been watching this show up till now, you should be watching it because this is going to get good.
Ed's got a king 9. And he's going to come in for more chips as well, Dave. Looks like he's going to buy. And he's raising. He raises with the king 9, 200 more. And oh, Jesus has got the ladies. Let's see what he does. He just calls. Wow. Oh, boy, if this flop comes 9 high, Dave, we're going to see some atomic bomb fireworks there. We're going to see an
Now,
atomic bomb
Jesus
go off.
has really kind of hidden his hand strength here. 'Cause
Yep.
His head's up.
I gotta tighten up a little.
Oh, Jack 9-6. Ed's got a piece of it. It's about a $500 pot, and Ed's going to bet.
210.
He bets 210.
I like big ways too.
Let's see what Jesus does here.
You want to try 605?
$700 pot.
1,000 more.
Is Jesus just going to call?
The 1,000 boys.
Oh, he's going to raise.
What freeway is that?
How much has he raised here? Looks like $1,200, Dave, he's raised. Wow. $2,100 pot, $1,200 for Ed to call.
I'm going to Cabo San Lucas.
Ed
Ed
calls.
quickly calls.
He's going to need a 9 or a king.
$3,300 pot. The jack pairs on the turn. $3,300 in the pot. Jesus bets $1,500 on the turn.
That's a scary card to anybody else, wouldn't it be? I mean, top pair just pairs.
Actually,
now.
it's a $2,500 bet. $2,000 chips and a $500 chip. The pot is now approaching $6,000. And Ed makes the $2,500 call. $8,500 in the pot now. The river's an ace.
Had a suited jack. Almost called.
Could be an action killer. I
I
think
tell
that
you.
Ed might be all in or close to all in.
I tell you, players are just
And
giving
look at
money
that.
away here.
Jesus checks it down with queens. He takes down $8,500. Wow.
Yeah, jack too?
Jack Queen.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. I mean, the way that hand played out was just amazing. Because if you have pocket queens and you and you raise somebody on the flop,
Yeah.
and they call you normally,
Yeah.
and the board pairs, the top,
Yeah.
you've got to be terrified. Oh, this
Yeah.
guy must have a jack, right?
Love the turn.
And then when the guy calls you when you bet, you got to be terrified too. But
Oh, you
usually you
gotta
don't run
think-
around someone who calls with King 9 there in that spot.
Oh, wow.
Biggest pot of the night there. Unbelievable.
Ed just must have thought he was bluffing.
You call with a jack 3, I
Ed thought he was bluffing again. Wow.
Unbelievable. And Ed was going back into his pocket for more chips. Luckily, he didn't get them in time, I think, for the hand, Dave. My goodness.
Sure, yeah, it's already
Well,
there.
2 times in a row now we've seen big pairs being slow played, pocket jacks and
Yeah.
pocket queens, slow played and getting paid off.
Yep.
Wow. And I thought this game would get crazy because Corporation Mike got in the game. We don't even need him.
Another live straddle.
And this game is basically a 20-40 game now.
Yep. It's like 20-40, no limit.
Can you go back there and ask what Ed had down here?
And I don't think Ed showed the hand down, and I think people would be amazed. Amazed. I mean, maybe someone might think he had pocket 10s, but King 9? But even pocket 10s, Dave, it's like, geez.
I double up your money if you call.
And Jesus is going to raise here.
Yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. I
He's got
guess
pocket
Ed,
9s.
the only thing I can say is maybe Ed put him on a bluff, you know?
Jesus is raising out of the big blind with pocket 9s. He makes it 200 more, and the guy's on fire. He's got to be upwards of 8,000 or 9,000 in front of him now.
Now, it's
Dave.
interesting, when we first got introduced to Jesus, he was really running the table. He was really winning. And then he went on a really cold streak for about a month.
Mike makes the call with Jack 5 of diamonds on the button, and these are the two that I thought that would be, that could really, really have an explosion heads up. Mike and Jesus.
Now, the other big winner there is Hav there. We call him Midnight here.
Hollywood Russ.
He's got the Red Sox cap on him.
Can't
He's a
quite
big
see
winner.
what he has. He's thinking about something here.
Oh. I think he was sleeping.
He's got Jack 5 of spades, same hand as Mike.
And he was. I think he was sleeping.
Well, that really puts Jesus in a real great spot now. I mean,
Yeah.
Russ is Jack 5 as well. Heads up here. Pocket 9s against Jack 5. About a $480 pot.
And
Oh,
there's
the
a jack.
jack spikes right away.
There's only 2 of them out there left, too.
Jesus bets. And you wonder if he can get away from it, Dave. He's going to bet 200. And I think Mike has 3,000 or 4,000 in front of him.
He bought it for 5, so.
Oh, 5, wow. He must have some $1,000 chips there, too. Mike makes a smooth call with the Jack 5. And here we go to the turn. Turn is a deuce. And he's going to bet 400 here. And Mike quickly calls. The pot's now, I want to say, about $1,200. And the river's a king. Oh, and Jesus is going to check. And it just gets checked down here. Jack
And,
is good.
yeah, Corporation's going to take down about a $1,200 pot there.
Yep.
Oh, we've seen a couple of monster pots here. Our 2 big winners of the night so far, definitely Hav in seat 4 and Jesus in seat 5.
Tengo un par de caballos acá y el Luisito apareció.
Yeah, I gotta say, Dave, I mean, you gotta be probably a movie star to get tickets to the Rolling Stones at the Hollywood Bowl.
Fortunately, my mother-in-law is, so I give her a call. She'll get me tickets.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
She's got connections. I don't have any connections. I got nothing, but fortunately...
Well, we already know that.
Yeah, I know. But fortunately, my mother-in-law does, so hopefully she can hook me up. Maybe she's listening.
Yes, that's why I was so. No.
Well, your mother-in-law is probably pretty good friends with that guy on Desperate Housewives, Jesse Metcalf, too, right?
Well, they're not really good friends, but obviously they
Yeah.
work together for 3 or 4 years, so they do know each other very well.
No. Ahorita le digo que te hable que necesito hablar con
Corporation Mike, he's going to raise here to 90 with Jack 7 of clubs.
All
right, Tom. Good luck.
I mean, and your starting hands in this game, I guess they mean nothing.
90 I4.
Well, obviously the table has loosened up
You think?
a lot. Hob is going to call with pocket deuces.
a
Jesus
word
in there
for
with 8-6. Amir had limped with Queen 8 of clubs. Let's see if he makes the call.
We've got some people with really deep stacks, too. I mean, Hobbs probably close to 10,000 now, and so is Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Really do have a recipe for a giant hand. Hob makes the call. It was an $80 pre-flop raise.
Yeah, Amir's in there with Queen 8 of clubs, huh? Wow.
So it's about a $320 pot here to the flop. King, Queen 7. Amir has hit second pair. He has the best hand. Mike, you know, he raised with Jack 7, so he's got a piece of it. Probably going to lead if it gets checked to him. Oh, look at this.
What kind of bet is that?
Amir bet. Amir bet right out here, and Mike called him.
150 free weight.
$150 bet and a call there by Mike.
That's 105, man.
Turn is a 5. We're over a $500 pot now. Amir checks. Check, check.
105.
River's a 4. Amir's hand is good now. And he bets 250, a little value bet there at the end, Dave. $750 pot, 250 for Mike to call. Mike pays him. Nope. Looked like he played the fake
Looked
out
like it,
there.
yeah.
Guess that's dealer's discretion. Kind of put the chips in the moved him forward there a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you got called on that, if you'd be forced to keep him in there. String call, I guess, as they say.
I suppose, you know, I mean, especially if Amir had thrown his hand over real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like this right now.
I mean, technically speaking, any forward motion like
Yeah.
that would be considered a bet or a call in that
Call.
case. But Amir wasn't going to call him on it.
Yeah, I just wanted to... Thanks. Appreciate it.
Ed is back in. We're getting word that he is bought in for...
Do you guys call that on the
We don't know yet. He's writing a marker out.
there you go.
After this hand, I got to tell you, another email coming in from Marianne Jarvis. She wants a close-up of Jesus' finger, his wedding ring finger. We want to see if it's bare.
There you go.
Raise, make it 200.
Hollywood Russ is going to raise here. He's got pocket tens. Look at that. No ring.
Well, he's available. Are you interested, Bart?
I'm not interested. It's for this young lady that keeps emailing us. Pocket tens there for Russ. You got a call by Amir with King Queen out of position. And Ed's rebought for $7,500, Dave. Ace, 8, ace on the flop.
At 200.
Russ bets 200 here. What is Amir going to do? Amir's going to check raise. He's going to make a move. He made a mini check raise there, Dave. And I think he's going to get Russ off the hand. Tough spot.
Nice play here by Amir. If you put Russ on a pair, not an ace, it's a nice play. And look at Amir stare him down.
Well, if Russ thinks he has the best hand,
Let's get a close-up of your Amir here. There, that's what he looks like, what a bluffer looks like.
I was gonna say, if Russ thinks he has the best hand here, you just smooth call in and just hope the guy just continues to bet into you. Because if you come, yeah, he's gonna move all in here, Dave. Which I thought if he had the best hand and he makes this play, and the other guy doesn't have an ace, obviously he's not gonna call
Yeah,
him.
Russ has no money, though.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say though is, if you think the guy's bluffing, do you just call and let the guy keep bluffing into you?
You
know, on
could.
the turn.
Yeah, you got position on the guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, when you have position, it opens up the whole world of opportunities to you.
Wow, and he makes the call with
Well,
king,
now he's
queen.
probably looking at it going, I got pot odds. I got to call now.
Pot odds for what?
I don't know.
Well, he's got the queen of clubs in his hand. Oh, he dodges it. My goodness.
I'm not trying to get inside these guys' heads. I have no idea, but hey. Well, what did he raise to? 400?
Well, he check raised the minimum. I guess
So
what
400. So he's looking at it going $1,000 pot.
Well, I guess you'd have to put the guy on something like a pair that wasn't with an ace, like an over pair, like tens, jacks.
Yeah, I don't think he put him on an ace. I think he put him on something like that. So I guess he looked at it and said, well,
6
$1,300
outs, backdoor
pot.
clubs. Yeah, 7 outs, the backdoor clubs, I guess. Debatable.
Well, I don't even think it's debatable, but just trying to get inside his mind there.
You don't think it's debatable?
Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, it's probably a pretty easy fold.
So Ed's back in there for $7,500. You got Hav in there with a lot of money. You got Corporation Mike with a lot of money. You got Jesus covering the table in seat 5.
Michael Hershenson in seat 9's got a lot of money.
Incredible. And the White Sox and the Indians game is still going on.
Still going on.
Bottom of the 12th, it looks
Well, there you
like.
go. Well, we're off actually on. We're off on the weekends now.
Yeah.
But maybe we can pick this back up. Maybe the game will still be going on Monday.
yeah. And Hollywood Russ has got ace king suited.
Ace king suited.
Going to raise it up.
Well,
to
he's now
80.
doubled up. Now he's up to about $3,000.
Hav's got pocket 7s. Let's see how he plays it. Is he going to smooth call?
You never wait for me, man. Ever.
He's going to call.
Jesus.
Well, this is the type of table, Dave, where I would love to sneak in with a mid-pocket pair and hit a set. My goodness.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Now, Corporation Mike's got pocket 5s. He's got the old speed limit.
Yes.
Now, Amir's got a 5 also, so it's going to be a real magic trick if Mike hits a set.
And Ed makes the call. So we've got 7-way action times 80. 560 in the pot pre-flop. Here we go. 9 jack queen. King 10 straight there for Mike in seat 9, nut straight.
Wow.
I don't know if a lot of people could pay him off, though.
Yeah,
Dave.
well, Ed's got an open-ended straight draw.
Russ is going to bet here. So King 10 checked it from up front, and Russ is going to bet $150 into a $540 pot.
Well, it's not a bad bet because he wants to get a little information. You know what I mean? He just wants to find out what he's going to find out, and $150 he'll get the information he wants to get.
Dave, I was going to say, I mean, if Ed calls and an 8 comes on the turn, it's just going to be a disaster for Ed.
If a king comes.
Well, no, but if an 8 comes, Mike has the higher straight. He's got the nut straight.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
King would chop it.
A 10, actually, and Russ has got the nuts.
And look at this. Mike just smooth calls. The turn is a queen, so the King 10 smooth call.
Wow, and the queen, now the paired board, might
Yeah.
kill some action.
And everyone checks. And the river's a jack, and look at Mike's hand now. Oh, my. Are you kidding me? How slow can you play it there over in seat 9? My goodness. Just can't get getting worse and worse. God.
Yeah, I think he was hoping for a check raise. He was
Yeah, but he didn't check raise the flop, though.
No, well, he was hoping for a check raise on the turn. And when he
But
didn't
you
get
don't
the check raise on the
necessarily know that if someone has a queen there.
No,
I mean, there's only 2 people in there.
I'm with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you. But he was hoping for a check raise on the turn, obviously. And when he didn't get it, and the board paired a jack on the river, well,
Yeah.
then his hand is just dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't even call a big bet on the river.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Well, that's a way to flop the nuts and make no money on it.
Yep.
The worst thing is Ed probably would have paid him off $500 on the flop. And
Well, I was
$500
going to say, and if an 8 came, it would just be a disaster for
But
him.
Ed had open-ended. He's going to pay off
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Got a live straddle in seat 9, and again, this game is playing like a 20-40 game now. I think that pot's been straddled
Without a doubt.
the
Without a
last
doubt.
few rounds.
You've got to be pretty deep in this game because you got to be comfortable to,
Yeah.
if you get a decent hand, throw $200 in there pre-flop, even with, just drawing in ace king.
Yeah. Action's on Ed right now, I believe.
Yeah, and he was actually giving I think he was giving a $500 chip or a $1,000 chip to get some smaller change.
Yeah, so we've got a straddler. Who's in the straddle spot? Seat 9.
Okay, so the button is actually in seat 6. That's George.
And we really haven't heard much from Barry Woods at all tonight, Dave.
No, he's had a quiet night.
Yeah.
We haven't heard it since that Jack 3.
Yeah.
Since he lost a couple $1,000 there.
King 7 deuce here on the flop.
Ed has the best hand. He
Who's
was Ace 7.
limped around. Barry looks like he's going to bet. He's about bet 120, and little does he know that Ed has a pair, and he's not going anywhere. He calls.
Two players.
Here we go to the turn. Turn's a queen.
120.
And look at this. Barry's going to bet again. He's going to bet again, and Ed quickly calls. Oh, whoop. Yeah, he's going to call. He makes the call. And the river's a queen. And what does Barry do now? Dave, he's reaching for chips. He's only going to bet 120, though. I don't think that's enough. And Ed makes the call. Did Ed make?
Yes.
Ed makes the call. Yeah, Barry just didn't bluff enough there.
It's good enough.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, in light of that, I just want to remind you guys, I want to make sure you know. Tonight's bluff night. The biggest bluff of the night.
So we got a couple of, looks like Tuckman's out on the floor describing
Last rattle.
the bluff promotion. There he is.
Stone cold bluff.
Does it have to be successful?
Like a free flop. No, you do not need
I mean, like my failed one right
Look at
now.
that mug. My
You
goodness.
know, a free flop.
You're in the running.
Isn't obviously
Live straddle seat 2.
Corporation Mike's going to straddle here out of seat 1.
Move somebody up the winning hand.
Yeah, it moves you a little higher than say a semi.
And
Let you all know.
Mike's got King 10 there in the straddle spot in seat 1.
Yes, sir. Live straddle.
Amir is going to call here. He's got 8-3 offsuit. Barry's in there with ace 7. Mike's got ace 4 in the big blind. And Mike's going to raise. Mike in seat 9 is going to raise. And Corporation Mike calls. It's a $100 raise.
You may just enjoy
Amir, he's going to make the call with 8-3 offsuit. And Barry's out. So we've got a $300 pot here. Wow. And Amir hits top 2 pair with the 8-3 offsuit. And Michael has a wheel draw. He's going to bet in with ace 4. He bets 280. The pot is now 580, 280 to call. Corporation Mike gets out of the way, and boy, what a flop for 8-3. And Amir is going to move all in over the top. Looks like he doesn't have much. I think he's got about 680, so it's an additional 400 more. So the pot now, I want to say, would be about 1,000, an additional 400 for Mike to call.
90 more.
So yeah, it's about 400 more for Mike to call. The pot's about 1,000. And is he going to gamble with it? He's going to gamble with the gut shot. Little does he know that his ace is no good if it comes, unless he can catch 2 running cards. He's pretty far behind now.
He wins his money and leaves.
Here we go. Let's see the turn. Turn is a 6. Mike needs to catch a 5 here. And the river is a 3. And Amir fills up. 8's full of 3s. And Michael over there in seat 9 really hasn't had a great night. He says, "You called with those cards?" And Amir said, "I'm sorry, what?"
See Dolphin. Hey, George, would you put this over there?
Got a seat open. We'll be getting a player pretty
Barry,
shortly.
did you move the button for me already?
No, I didn't.
Oh, go over there. Go over there. Then, okay.
I don't know.
Very good.
Looks like we get a cube over Jesus. Is someone going to play over Jesus over there in seat 5?
All your life, I've
never had chips that many chips.
Is the button right?
Hey,
Move over there. Okay. You just go and then you wait.
we're going to look at another chip count here.
Big one, C2.
So we're looking at another chip count there. Javi got the lead over there with 9,300. Jesus, though, he's up almost 8,000 for the night. And I think that Barry just keeps buying in between hands because his chip stack keeps going up, but I don't remember him necessarily winning a lot of hands.
Is Mike all in?
Not yet.
And we got some chip shuffling movement here from side to
Yeah,
side.
as soon as I took it, you got to come back. You're playing overside or you going?
And Corporation Mike is moving over to seat 5.
I got it over here.
Whatever.
Barry Woods has picked up pocket 10s on the button. He's going to raise.
80.
He makes it 80 to go.
80, huh?
80, huh?
Ed's got an ace-6 offsuit. He's going to make the call.
80 it is.
And again, seat 5 is Corporation Mike. Did Jesus get up from the table? Oh, Jesus is gone. They must have started the Mexican poker game. But Mike makes the call with 7-4 offsuit. And Barry Woods flops a set. Jack 6-10.
So the old 80 trick, huh?
No,
It's a $250 pot.
80.
And Ed's going to bet out with the 6. He's going to bet 80. What's Barry going to do here? He's going to raise. He raises it to 280. And I actually like the raise because if Ed bets, he's going to call him with a pair of 6s. Wow. The pot is now $800. The turn is a 9.
I do. I had 7-8.
Turns a 9. Ed checks.
400.
Barry bets 400. Pot's now about $1,000. What can Ed beat here? And Ed is actually drawing dead. And he's going to let it go. He's going to let it go. But I really like the raise there on the flop by Barry. Because if he had just smooth called, he probably would not have gotten called on the turn. I want to say hello to Mo's family friend of Mo's, or I believe it's actually Mo's cousin, or it may be Mo's brother. I got to be honest with you, Mo just came in here and handed me a piece of paper, and I don't remember. But his name is Farhad, and he's watching us from Dubai in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and it probably is, I want to say, I got to say it's probably at least 12 hours ahead. So it's probably somewhere mid-morning over there in the UAE. And got to watch Dave go and buy some fruit snacks and come back.
What happened? You got upset?
when have I not been upset?
Button is going to raise here with ace-5 of diamonds. So hello to Mo's nephew/cousin/brother in Dubai. Ever been to Dubai, Dave?
Monster or high net? Okay, high net.
Never been to Dubai. I have never been there. Mo is back.
Yep.
Corporation Mike's gone.
No,
Or
Jesus is
Jesus.
gone.
Jesus is gone. Well, you know what? We've had a heck of a night from him. So,
Oh, thank you.
did he lose a big pot before he left or no?
No.
Just left with 10,000.
Yep.
Okay.
8-7-4 here on the flop. It's a seat 9 raised originally, and it's we'll say it's a. It was a $140 raise pre-flop, and 3 people called. Wow. So it's about a $600 pot now.
Believe me, Ross. A long time ago, when I was too young.
And Barry's got top
I
pair.
told her if I drink too often, I get drunk.
I never like to see Jesus leave, but this is one game that Jesus can actually leave and we'll still be okay.
She opened the...
Barry is going to bet here 250.
And I said, oh, you know, if I drink too often...
And seat number 9, Mike, he put a $1,000 chip in there. Is that just a call? What's he calling with, Dave? He's got a gut shot.
I told her...
He might make a play.
The pot's over $1,000.
Is that a raise or a call?
Just a call. Just a call. Over $1,000 pot now. Heads up, Barry against Michael. Barry's in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, maybe he's going to make a play at it, I assume.
Turn is a 6. He's hit the gut shot. Wow.
I guess that's what he's calling for.
And Barry's going to check.
500.
And Mike bets 500, so the pot's about 1,500. It's 500 at call.
Not much Barry can beat here.
Now, Actually, if he caught a 9, he would win the hand, Dave. He's got a pair and a gut shot.
Hi, Anze. How are you?
I mean, that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Me too.
Gut shot of a good shot. I actually bumped into Hav. He was on the way to the bathroom, and he thanked me for getting him into this game.
Everybody's what?
It looks like Barry is going to make the call. So it's a $2,000
We've
pot.
seen time and time again, Barry has trouble getting away from top pair.
And the river is a 9! Unbelievable! Oh, my.
Wow.
All in.
And look at this. Barry checked it, and Mike moved all in with the ace-5. He's moved all in, and Barry has him covered, Dave. We're talking about a $5,000 or $6,000 pot. It's like a $3,000 bet here on the river.
What is Barry thinking
Barry's
about?
got the straight. What's he thinking about? He can only be beat by Jack 10 here.
Yeah, but there's no way Jack 10. Look at the turn.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, Jack 10? No.
And he makes the call.
Of course he does.
He makes the call. He induced the bluff on the end, and he takes all of Michael's money.
Yeah, it wasn't really a
That's
bluff.
incredible. Yeah, you're right. I guess it really wasn't a bluff. But I mean, maybe he didn't figure the guy had a 5.
I think he put him on. I think Michael thought Barry had 2 pair.
Wow. That's incredible. And that might be doing it for the World Poker Organization there, Dave.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
And he's going to rebuy in.
Can we
here.
get confirmation on how much he was all in for at the end there? Was it another 2,000, 3,000? The bet at the river?
It was only an ace.
Well, he's down about $7,000 tonight. He's down about $7,000. I know early on in his first couple of chips accounts, he had $7,000.
Wow. Yeah, so I think it was, a $1,500 or $2,000 bet there at the end. So Barry takes it down, and he wins that big pot, and now Barry's way up, Dave. That's incredible. What a river. Oh, what a river. And he's rebought, and he's picked up pocket jacks. The game goes on.
It's just an interesting. Why would Mike bet that much in the river? I mean, I guess you just put the guy on 2 pair. He said, okay, this guy must have 2 pair to call me, and maybe I can get him to pay me up with 2 pair again.
Just so you know the difference.
I was waiting for you to tell me the difference.
It's all about emphasis, right?
And Michael's got jacks here. He's got an overpair. Well, he has rebought. Trying to get word for how much he's rebought, though.
Yeah. He's got pocket jacks.
300.
I think he rebought for at least 3,000 though.
500?
300.
Coming up.
It's like catching it in LA River.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
LA River.
That's what I told them. It's in the LA River.
And looks like Mike's going to bet there.
That's a specialty.
And he looks like he took it down.
And he's actually rebought for $5,000.
Yeah.
I can see there. There's 2 stacks of $100 chips. Those are $2,000 stacks. And then a rack of brown, whatever you want to call it, is $1,000. And once again, we are live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em with 10-20 blinds. The game is crazy. The action is wild. The money is flying around. We had Jesus in the game all night, and he's actually left. He left up about $6 or $7 grand though tonight.
My favorite man.
Actually, I want to say Jesus was up almost $7.5 grand tonight. Huge winner.
It's a live straddle.
Who's strudel?
C5.
And this is bluff night. The biggest bluff of the night will get Rolling Stones tickets.
We have another straddle. C5.
Well, this is a 10-20 game. It's really playing like a 20-40 game.
Yeah. Corporation Mike is straddled.
4 players.
Yeah, no, he has 7.
I'll bet on the side.
4-way action. Limped
And
around.
it's not
Let me
your...
see the flop.
10-9-5. Then Mike's going to come out and fire with Jack 9, and is Ed going to get away from it, Dave?
150.
Make
He's
it
got second pair.
Make it.
Let's.
And Mo's calling with overcards and a gut shot.
Yep.
We've seen him do that a couple of times when he did overcards and a shot.
And Ed calls.
Change. C1. 3 players.
So it's about a $600 pot now. The turn is a 6, and Ed's hit 2 pair. And Mo's going to bet 500. And Ed really should pop it up here, Dave. You
Well,
really
Ed's
should.
got respect for Mo, but there's
Yeah.
too many. There's flush cards out there.
Yeah.
There's straight cards out there.
Yep.
Take the pot down now. The pot is big enough.
And he just calls.
And just smooth calls.
Wow. And Mike is out of there. It's about a $1,600 pot. And the river is a 9, and Ed fills up.
Oh, wow. Now, if Mike had called that river, you think he would have gotten burned?
Mo bets here. 500.
Make it 2,500.
And Ed's going to raise 2,500.
Well, Mo's trying to win those Rolling Stones tickets, but
yeah, boy, that would have been an incredible river card if Corporation Mike had stayed in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if Mo had called or checked the turn and Ed bet,
8-9.
and Mike called, it would have been insane. So Ed is raising to 2,500.
Mo thinking about it, but not really.
Did you win from concert tickets today?
And this is very similar to Mo's last bluff when he had King Jack. But obviously this bluff isn't going to work.
No.
I was calling you on the turn.
Thank you, Clark.
He called Adam. The case 19.
Button is in seat 3 now.
How come you can't have a straight?
You can check this tomorrow, right?
Ed, why don't you just tell me?
Yeah, next 2 days.
Save me the trouble.
Yeah, just say.
No, I have full house.
Okay, fives.
Since you can check it, there's no way to lie about it.
You wouldn't like
Well, Ed is not lying. He had a full house, but it was an interesting full house. 6-9.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, do this.
You wonder if Mike was actually hitting himself for folding there. But
4 players.
4-way action. Looks like it's 4-7-8 here. A couple of spades. Russ has got a flush draw.
yeah, Mike's got top pair. Corporation.
And Russ is going to bet here.
He's trying to circumvent.
Do you think that Mike is going to check raise? He does a lot in these spots, Dave. If he checks top pair from early position and a guy like the button might make a steal bet on it, he may check raise. And that's what he's going to do.
Easy,
it looks
Mike.
like.
300.
He check raises to 300. Boy, we know these guys like the back of our hands, don't we, Dave? Let's see what Russ does now. So it's
I think I won the
300 straight here, or 300 more?
200 more.
200 more. Russ makes the call with the flush draw.
Pot's about $800 now.
Turns a deuce. It gives Russ a pair now.
Oh, no, it's not one-hand deal.
Mike
Yeah,
bets 300
only
again.
300. You got 300 to win about an $800. Actually, 300 to win $1,100.
Close.
Getting a little more than 3 to 1 on your money. 3.5 to 1 on your money.
You know what?
You figure any spade, any deuce, and maybe any 3.
Well, the issue is, can you actually raise Mike off the best hand now here, too? Remember, Russ had 3,000 beginning of the hand.
Might be able to. Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a lot of outs.
Sure, Hollywood
Spade, a deuce, or a 3. It's a $300 bet, $1,100 pot.
Well, I want to say he's got,
300
what, 5 outs? He's got, looks like 14 outs. Obviously, he doesn't know the king of spades is in Mike's hand.
He can't muck, Dave, right? I mean, that's not even a viable option here.
3.5 to 1. I mean, if he thinks Mike's got 2 pair, he can.
He's going to make the call. And the river is a 4. And Russ does not get there.
Same bet.
And Mike is going to bet 300 again. So it's a $1,700 pot, 300 for Russ to call.
Yeah, and the only thing he can beat now is if Mike had a spade draw as well,
Yeah.
that missed, or if Mike had, say, 9-10.
Well, the pot odds are really laying him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 5 or 6 to 1, and he makes the correct lay down.
I'll let you get there cheap.
Sometimes when you're playing no limit hold'em, you can't obey those pot odds. You got to look at it and go, "Am I beat?"
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
Once again, for Bluff Night, I do need help from you folks. Please email us at live@thebike.com with who you think is the best bluff of the night.
And actually, Russ McGinley made a good point that Barry won that hand again by calling.
Raise it.
Yeah, he even checked. He made a straight check, did
Right.
and got Mike to move all in, which I don't moved all in. I mean, I guess if you think guy's 2 pair, you can do that.
Seat 1 is raised here, 150 Mo. He's got ace, queen, and diamonds. Ed calls with ace 9. Hollywood's in there with queen, jack of clubs.
Yeah, both hands are very badly dominated.
Corporation Mike, 9-10. $600 pot,
And flop comes out 10 high.
and Mike's got top pair, and he checks. Let's see what Mo does here. Bets 300. Into a $600 pot.
Right.
And this flop is not really draw heavy here, Dave. I mean, if somebody calls, you got to think that they have a pair, right? Unless you put them on 4-5.
Yeah.
And look at this, Mike's going to check raise. Makes it 700.
Yeah, very true to form. He check raises with top pair from up front.
And what is Mo going to do now?
And check raise was how much more?
It was 700 total.
So
So the pot is now
400 more.
1,900. The turn's a 9. And now Mike has two pair. $1,900 pot.
Mo is drawing dead.
And Mike checks. And Mo checks right behind it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, the river's an ace.
Yeah, Mike is drawing dead.
And Mike checks again. Mike checks again, Dave. And Mo bets. He bets 1,000.
Call.
And Mike just calls. He played it real conservatively. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, well, when Mo
That's
called
about
that,
a $4,000 pot right there.
when Mo called that $400 bet on the turn, on the check raise,
Yeah.
on the flop, got himself into a little trouble there. Mike really induced that bluff, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a bluff. He got the ace. You know, when Mo caught the ace in the river, I thought he might just check it down.
Well,
This is my first day, Ed.
Elizabeth, can I have it this week? Please, man.
Mo's going to buy in for more.
Camera's catch him rubbing my leg on it. You see that?
Pocket tens for seat 7 there, George.
I mean, I guess you can bet the river there thinking, you know, Mike might pay me up with any 10. You know, if Mike has to jack 10 or something like that.
I'm surprised that Mike did maybe check raise the river. But I guess maybe you say that Mo's not going to pay you off if you know, with something like ace king or ace queen. What's
Right,
the point?
I think that might be
Yeah.
looking at it. Plus, he bet $1,000. You got to check raise into what,
Yeah.
2,000 or 3,000. You're looking at a pretty big bet.
Yeah. Russ is the original raiser. Amir made a smooth call with pocket tens. And there you go with a raggy board. And Mike has an open-ended straight draw. And Amir checks the tens.
Wow.
And
We saw him do that earlier. He checked his jacks.
Russ
when
is
it
the
was over.
better. And if Mike gets tricky and he raises Russ, what does Amir do now? Russ is going to bet
120.
120. And this is exactly what's happened. Mike has raised with the straight draw.
Now, you see Mike's play here. I'm actually a fan of Mike's play in some regards. He check raises with top pair, and then he check raises with a draw. So now you're wondering, okay, does this guy have 4-6, or does he have ace-5? Not quite sure where to put him.
And look at this. Amir calls. I was wondering what Amir was going to do, Dave. And I think that Russ thinks he can be done with the hand.
Hey, you think?
Where is the button here on this hand?
When there are two
C5.
players in there, you got to throw it away because one of them could have
so
a 3.
Mike is actually in position here. He raised on the button with the 6-4.
Okay.
Yeah. And here we go. We're heads up. Amir against Mike, but it's really, and the turn is an ace.
Now you got to be a little worried that Amir might have a 3 in the
Amir
blind.
checks. Oh, yeah, Mike checks. And the river is a 6. And Amir's going to, it's time to value bet here.
He might get a
And
call.
he does get a call.
Yeah.
Mike calls him. And I don't know how you can call there on the river if you're Mike. The way that that hand played out. What can you beat there?
A 5. I mean, I'm just throwing something out there. It could
I
be
mean,
a 5.
but Mike raised on the button. The guy checked up front on the flop. Russ bet. Mike raised. Is the guy going to call with a naked 5?
He might call you with, say, a draw and a 5.
Like
I mean,
a 4-5?
Yeah, 4-5 fit.
I got you. Hold on.
Well, when Barry won that pot, he skyrocketed
Yeah.
up to 12. And I think he might be the big winner for the night now.
I got to tell you, not a chance.
Oh,
Jesus.
Hav.
Hav is up about 6,000 on the
Yeah,
night.
but Jesus was up 8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Barry's in there for Barry's probably in for about 8,000 tonight. But he's still up too, obviously. Our big loser for the night, and I hate to say when people are big losers, but Michael there, he's rebought for 5,000, but he's down probably $7,000 tonight. And Ed, of course, is probably down what, 7,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Been raised.
Yeah, just when you thought Barry was having a quiet night, he doubles up.
Straddled there
That's a good freeway.
by seat 9. And I think George is raised to 150 with pocket 9s out of seat 6. Or seat 7.
There's George. He is
That's
squeaky tight, huh?
Amir actually has the pocket nines. He makes it 150 to go. 9 is the straddler.
The
He
Greek
calls.
poker guard, George.
He calls with 6-5 of diamonds.
Good old city boy, huh?
Wow. I need 2 cards, right?
Ed calls with Jack 5, $150 raise.
I need 2 cards.
Russ calls with King Queen.
I gotta tell you, if you're playing in a game like this, how do you put in your opponents on a hand?
Dave, we've got 5-way action. It's a $750 pot. Or
Just like that, huh?
4-way action. $600 pot. Pocket nines is the razor.
And there's Jack 5 out there.
Oh, this is incredible. Ed's hit bottom 2 pair.
Unfortunately for him, nobody's got an ace.
Ed's going to bet. He bets 400 into a $600 pot. Not a good flop for pocket nines.
No, Ed got kind of got lucky to hit 2 pair, but unlucky that nobody has an ace. It didn't come out King Jack 5. Even Jack 6-5 would have been better.
Yeah,
He's
Jack
not gonna
6-5 would have been a big hand.
Right, he's just not going to get paid off
Yeah.
on it. I mean, he happens to get lucky and he doesn't get paid on it.
I really got to have the tickets now.
Well, he's saying he really has to have the tickets now, but
Actually, Ed hasn't bluffed at all tonight, has he?
Dave, the White Sox and the Indians game is still going on. They're in the bottom of the 13th inning.
But the White
And
Sox are winning,
The
huh?
White Sox are winning 3-2. And that would be great news for the Red Sox if the White Sox can clip
Yeah.
off the Indians.
That would be huge.
Yeah. And what a choke that would be by the Indians for them to pretty much like play themselves into the ground at home against the White Sox, who are already in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, if they lose 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And the Phillies are only 1 game behind the wild card spot on the Astros.
Ace King suited here for George. Russ is going to raise. He's picked up King Queen like 10 times tonight. Let's see how George plays the Ace King this time. Remember, he didn't re-raise last time, and again, he's just going to smooth call. He's just going to smooth call with the Ace King suited.
In the cutoff seat, too. Wow.
Every one of your fucking cards, man. The ocean.
So this is one of those tables where you might want to over-raise with your big hands.
Your heads up here. King Queen against Ace King. You wonder if Russ continues to bet here. See what happens. Russ checks. Wow, and George checks behind him. I would think with my Ace King, my hand would be good now, Dave. I might throw a bet in there in position, right?
I would think so.
And if he checks it twice, and actually, Russ is going to bet here.
That's kind of a small bet.
There's no
isn't it?
way George can fold here for this.
No.
type of bet.
I would imagine you'd raise here, to be honest with you.
He's just going to call.
Pretty
They're
cards.
just playing kind of cat and
Just
mouse.
drawing cards, though.
Yeah, I think it's probably just going to go check here on
Yeah.
the end.
Well, George has made most of his money from players bluffing into him.
And of course, the board pairs, it's going to get chopped up. And that's not the pair. Ace King's still good here. 6 on the river.
And they both have 3 6s.
Russ bets 200, and George quickly calls. Yeah, and Russ just kind of, I mean, he played that so weakly and meagerly.
George?
Well,
Or
Russ
Russ.
did.
Yeah.
Russ did,
He
yeah.
bet $80
Yeah.
and 200. Kind of, it made it easy for George to call.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, by smooth calling the turn, he kind of induced a bluff on the river. Well played.
Well, the game is over. The
White Sox have won, huh?
the White Sox have won.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Incredible.
The Red Sox and the Yankees are tied for first place in the East,
Yep. White Sox are
and
down.
1 game up on the Indians.
Yeah.
The live straddles here?
Yes.
Live
But of course, the Indians still hold their own destiny in their hands because if they win the next 2 games, they're gonna be in.
Well, no, they've got if they win the next 2 and Boston wins one of the next 2, then there'll be that 3-way playoff.
Right. But I mean, they'll be in at least a tie.
Yes,
if they
exactly.
win the next 2 games.
Right.
Because the Yankees are playing the Red Sox.
Right.
Yeah. So they have the destiny in their own hands there. And the Red Sox are really in a great spot now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm really hoping the Indians can win because I really want to make the game on Sunday versus the Yankees Red Sox to mean something.
$100 raise there by Ed,
Three players.
the Ace Jack.
There you go. Mike calls it 9-7 offsuit. Flop misses everybody. Ed's still in the best hand.
I check.
And nobody wants to fire at it.
No, Ed does not bet at it. Turn is a 9. Now
Right.
Mike has the best hand.
Right, I know.
90.
When you're the pre-flop raiser, a board like that, you really got to bet into it. And now he's bet. And now he's let Mike get the best hand.
Well, now Mike probably knows he has the best hand.
Of course.
And of course, if it gets checked to you, you've got to put a bet in if you're Mike, right?
Well, against Ed, I would, because Ed might pay you off with ace high.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a good treat.
It's a $110 bet here.
I got a 9.
And I think it's more of an issue where Mike is just going to call. Probably 90% he thinks he has the best hand.
Well,
if
if
he
Ed
raises,
checked it to him, he might bet.
Right, exactly.
Ed
but if
did
he
bet 100.
bets, he might have. He could have. There could be a slight chance he could have pocket kings or something like that, right?
And Ed tries to bluff there, but unsuccessful. That was a bluff.
9.
That is real sick. You wouldn't have got a ton of action.
I got to tell you, Mike is one of the few guys. He's got that bald head, and he can pull off a pink shirt.
Yeah, I knew he was going to bet it.
Yeah.
You know, not many guys can do that. He can pull off a pink shirt.
I don't know, Dave. You might look good in a pink shirt.
Thank you.
60.
60.
Yeah, you did look good in a pink shirt, Dave.
All right, I was wearing that. I wore that awful pink tank top. That was only for charity, though.
That's not enough. 120. Oh,
And Michael here, he's got a real hand. He's got ace-jack off suit. Sort of a real hand, but he's on the button, so he's going to raise it up.
never mind. 120.
Makes it 120. Corporation Mike's got pocket sixes.
You know how big a hand I have?
I'm in. I heard you were the chip leader there.
Uh-oh, none of this gay stuff again. And he makes the call with pocket sixes.
No, this is
$360 pot. Queen 5 deuce.
1,000 minimum.
Now, we've seen Michael here on seat 9 here. He usually follows through when he pre-flop raises, and sure enough, he does bet here.
300.
He's going to bet 300. You know, Mike, there's only one overcard there, dude.
Not for the likes of you.
Ed has got a wheel draw, and Ed's going to call him. That might screw up Mike's plans now. To say maybe he would have check raised.
Yeah, like you said, it's tough to overcall when Ed makes that call, but once again, it's tough to put Ed on a hand, isn't it?
And Mike is going to check raise, Dave.
Okay.
He is going to check
You're here,
raise.
right?
$400 bet.
Call.
He makes it 500 more.
Straight 900 there.
So the pot is now 2,500 to call. I don't think Michael's
What do I
going
need
to
to
call.
have to be that lucky? Really?
Now, Michael means an ace or a jack. Ed would actually be fine with an ace or a 3.
Might be a lot, but I'll tell you something.
Yeah, Michael's out of there.
Update you.
Yeah, Michael's not had a good night. Every single time he's kind of stepped in it, huh?
And this might be a type of hand where you might call, actually, if you're Ed, because if you hit a 3, you could have all of Mike's chips. Turns a 7. And obviously we know probably not, because it's only 6s. Oh, and it goes check, check. And the river's a queen.
6 up.
And it just gets checked down. And Mike's going to take
Well, I mean,
it
it's
down.
not like Mike had a huge hand.
Right,
there.
right.
Pocket sixes.
Right.
Nice play there by Corporation. Takes it down.
Best hand, right? Come on. You have a higher pair like
And look at that, Mike goes best hand, right? And I think Michael actually said, no, I had a better hand. And obviously not.
I was a little worried about you, but
What
you were
Michael's
so-
asking is, what the hell is Ed doing in there if he can't beat you?
Right.
Last battle.
You were sandwiched in between me and Ed. It's rocking a hard flick.
And some players, like a guy like Ed, obviously, who's having a rough night tonight, he plays so unorthodox, you know, and you never really can put him on a hand that when he's really hitting like Jesus, he can win a lot of money. Obviously, tonight is not that night for him, though.
2 more.
Straddle here by Corporation Mike. He's picked up ace-9 of clubs. He's going to raise out of the straddle spot.
Yeah.
And Hob is not going to come in there with ace-4.
Mike, you let anybody else want a pot?
It's 9 o'clock. Ace 9 4.
Why do you want to always bet flip on people?
And then 4 on the turn. Okay.
Ronnie there doing some housekeeping.
I'll go broke.
Oh, big Mike.
Does he do
You can have
windows,
this
you
one,
think?
Barry. Okay? Yeah.
Big Mike.
Appreciate it. It's 3 of the ones you were in, I would have wiped your butt all over.
Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are $10 and $20. And the game has been great.
120.
Lots of action.
Amir has ace-king offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 120.
Time will come, Baldy.
Mo's going to call it deuce-3. Actually, he's going to re-raise. He's going to re-raise to deuce-3.
And he wants those Stones tickets, huh?
Actually, I need you in the game. I'm sorry. If I had a hand, if I had something decent like 4-7.
Amir's got a real hand, though.
Sounds good.
Wow, Amir mucks it.
Amir mucks it, and Mo with the 3-deuce offsuit. Is he going to show? No, he doesn't show.
I need you in the game.
And once again, this is bluff night.
Pocket threes, I want to re-raise.
Person who gives the best bluffs of the night will be awarded the Stones tickets. Rolling Stones. Playing at Edison Field.
Pocket a king.
Under the
King,
stars.
you want to be in trouble.
The beautiful city of Anaheim.
Got a king, you got aces.
Pot is limped around here. King, queen, 3.
Even though he was just only the big blind. I mean, it's only checked around.
Oh, his big blind? He put the big blind?
Yeah, he put the big blind.
I think there was some question about George's hand was dead. But he's the big blind. And
Yeah, I didn't know
Michael
you were big
has
blind.
the second best hand,
Only big blind
Amir, in
was
seat
George's
7.
hand actually should have been mucked.
That's 30.
Really?
You know, he wasn't at the table to act, and if you're not at the table to act on your hand is dead.
No?
Even if you're in there for the blind.
Yeah, no, thanks.
And it looks like Amir check raised.
Yeah, check raised and took it down.
Yep.
Once again, please email us. We're going to be tallying up any votes if you have. Please email us at liveatthebike.com with who you think is the big bluffer of the night
But, yeah.
and who should get those Rolling Stones tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Looking at $400 or $500. I hope I get more than that.
Got a bunch of limpers, and Corporation Mike on the button's got pocket 10s. And you know that he's going to raise here. There's a bunch of limpers in there, Dave, so you probably would definitely want to thin the field out.
$240.
He makes it 240.
And that's certainly going to limit, that's going to get some of those limpers out, huh?
It's over to Mo. Mo mucks the ace deuce. Boy, Ed's going to call here with king jack. My goodness. And Hod likes, he's trying to limp and see flops, but it's not really working.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Although he's up probably 5,000
Yeah.
for the night.
So king jack against pocket 10s. Uh-oh, top pair against middle set.
And they're both deep.
Oh, this is going to be huge, folks. And Mike bets immediately into the set. He bets 130. And Ed's going to check raise.
Whoa, and look at Mike.
How much is the check raise here?
This is going to get big, folks.
310.
310 total.
Turn
And
off your internet and watch this
Mike's
one.
smooth calls. Dave, we got about a $900 pot right now. The turn's a 3. Mike's filled up.
They're both deep. Ed is drawing dead.
$900
No,
pot.
sorry,
No, Ed
that's
could
not
spike
true.
a king.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Mike looks down at pocket 10s again. Ed bets here. How much is the bet here? $800 bet. It's an $1,800 pot. And Mike just smooth calls again, Dave. Fishy.
Why not get some chips in
Rivers
there?
is 6. I want to say it's, what, $2,600 now?
Yeah, and they both have, I mean, probably close to $4,000 or $5,000 left.
$900 bet now, $3,500 pot.
Oh, look at that blowout there by Mike. What an act. Oh, where's the Emmy?
And he's going to raise it up.
2,000.
He's going to raise it up to 1,000. Raise it up 1,000. Boy, I think he could have extracted more money. Oh, 2,000. A $2,000 raise. The pot is now about $5,600. And Ed quickly makes the call. $7,500 pot. Boy, Mike really could have pushed harder, I think, Dave.
Yeah, in all likelihood, he probably could have gotten all of Ed's chips.
Yeah.
Had he made the move on the turn.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, that's a tough hand for Ed to get away from top pair there with a jack kicker. And I think Mike knows it. I think Mike knows he probably could have got a couple of thousand more.
Yeah. Oh, huge.
Because Ed did have, Ed had about 7,000. I think Mike had about 5,000, 5,500. Wow. Big pot there for Mike.
Once Ed bets in on the turn and on the river, you know he probably has at least top pair, and I might just move all in on the river.
For Ed check raising, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And when he check raises you,
Yeah.
you could have raised him on the turn.
Yeah, I think Mike underplayed his hand there a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He worried that he was going to scare him off, maybe.
Seat 9 is live straddled here. And,
Wow. What a night. And Ed is probably close to almost down $11,000.
Barry's got pocket aces here, Dave.
Raise.
And seat 7's going to raise with ace-10 of spades. Let's see what Barry Woods does here.
Tough hand there for Ed there, getting away from
Barry's
top pair.
got aces. He's got a raise there by the small blind. And remember, he got burned when he played aces slow here a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
in
he
the
ain't going to do
blind.
that here.
And he's going to re-raise. He's going to make it 340.
Yeah, he told me already. He said he'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah. and Ed's got queen 10. Is he going to call a raise?
Well, he might
and
be
a
steaming.
re-raise with queen 10?
Yeah, he might be steaming here.
A raise and a re-raise with queen 10? And I guess the answer is yes. He makes the call with queen 10.
And if you're a mirror there, what do you do?
And he makes the call.
Boy, we saw Amir throw away ace-king to a raise.
$1,000 pot pre-flop. Uh-oh, Amir's got top pair. Excuse me, Ed's got top pair. Ed's got top pair.
Oh, and I got to tell you, I think Ed's going broke on this one.
Oh, my.
Oh, poor Ed. Just not his night.
$1,000 pot.
600.
Barry bets 600. And if Ed calls you, just keep pushing, Barry. Ed calls. $2,300 pot now to the turn.
Ed needs a queen or a 10 here.
Turn is an 8.
That gives him more outs.
$2,200
Queen, a
pot.
10, or a jack now.
Barry bets 1,000, so it's a third. And Ed quickly calls $4,200 pot now, and the river's a deuce. Now, how much do you bet here if you're Barry? He's going to bet $2,000, $6,200 pot.
Nice bet. He bet 600, then he bet 1,000. Now he's betting 2,000. And that's almost everything that Ed has.
I'll give you 10 minutes to go ahead and get it.
That's what they used to do in the old days.
1,006.
You had a half hour.
Oh,
And Ed only has 1,060 left.
and Ed is just
And he
stepped in.
makes the call with queen 10, and Ed is down tens of thousands of dollars tonight. Tens of thousands. And Barry
Oh,
turns
poor
over
Ed.
aces.
Just not his night. He's really stepped in it.
And Barry, look at that, cleans up in two hands. And I love the way that Barry played that hand, obviously.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
just
he
kept
played
betting.
it great.
Kept
The
betting,
only
kept
thing is,
betting.
maybe the bet on the turn was a little bit weak. I thought
$1,000?
1,000 into a $2,300 pot. I think he might have been able to push a little more, but he did follow up on the river. So
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it probably wouldn't have made a difference.
yeah. Nicely played.
Lines up.
And he extracted pretty much. I mean, he got all Ed's chips, so that's maximum value. Right?
You're talking another 28. Actually, Ed had about $3,100, and Incorporation Mike in seat 5 is probably sitting there going, "That's $3,100 that I should have."
Yeah, yeah, with his 10, yeah,
With his 10s full.
and Ed's buying for 5,000, Dave.
Yeah, and Ed is just, some nights he catches. Some nights the 10 comes
Yeah.
and he catches two pair and he wins, and some nights he catches that extra king and he makes kings full. But tonight he's not catching. Things aren't going his way, and he is now down probably close to, I want to say, $14,000, $15,000.
What a great river card for Barry there, deuce of spades.
Oh yeah, you couldn't ask for a better one.
Three-way action here. Ace 9-3, a couple spades.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Amir bets here.
150.
I mean, some people might look at Ed's style and go, wow, can he win this way? But you know what, though? When he goes on a good rush, like Jesus did tonight, I mean, Jesus won $8,000 in 2 hours.
80.
Amir takes it down there.
Wow, what a night, huh?
Well, Dave,
Well, let's tally up the votes here.
yeah, we're gonna award the
Biggest bluff
Rolling
of the
Stone
night.
tickets. Yeah.
We're gonna try to make that a regular every Friday night. Be bluff night.
Yeah.
Give away a prize to the biggest bluff every Friday night.
And I think, Dave, that Mo is going to take this one down.
Yeah, we got to tally them up, but I think you're right.
Well, what would you call it in first position? What would you call it?
3 players.
Three-way action here. Queen, queen, 5.
Looks like Ed's going to buy him for another $5,000.
Check.
Mo's hit a jack now.
Check 300s.
Got the best hand here.
And I'm still adding down here, Dave, the votes. It looks like Mo. Let's see the river here. River's an ace. And look at this. Mike is going to bet in here. He's betting 500 with a stone cold bluff. We were going to say that Mo probably is going to win it, but we might have to reopen things here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike joined the game so late. It might be a little bit too late, huh?
Yeah. It's a $500 bet here at the end. Mike called. He's representing a queen. He called the turn, probably trying to set this move up on the river.
Yeah, and there's not much, Mo can't beat much right now except the pure bluff, but he knows that Mike is capable of doing a stone cold bluff. And this is exactly what Mike has.
Yeah.
It is stone cold
He
bluff.
called the turn to make this move on the river to represent a queen.
Well, I don't know if he's... Maybe you sure he wasn't representing a king 10?
I'm reading you.
Either way, it got there.
Yeah.
He's reading me.
I mean, what was the bet on the turn?
I'm betting on small pair.
I think it was a $500 bet on the turn. Was it that much?
Wow.
No, I
$500.
don't think so. It wasn't that much. 120 on the turn. And
120
Mo gets
on the
away
turn.
from it. Mo gets away
Wow,
from
nice
it. Mike
bluff
takes
by
it
Mike.
down.
Yeah, $120 bet there. Great bluff by Mike.
Yeah.
And we're tallying up that Mo's got, looks like 3 or 4 great bluffs tonight. Jesus had 2 or 3 great bluffs. Barry had a bluff, a couple of bluffs. Ross's Hollywood's got a nice bluff. And there's a great bluff from Mike. We've got about 3 minutes left. Let's see if Mike can back it up with one more bluff here.
I told you raise was nothing. Just a turn. 60.
Yeah. Mike?
I gotta remember what
Seat 5 is going to raise here.
I tried to do that again next time. I don't know how I did.
Make it 360.
360.
$360 raise there by seat 2.
You have it.
Ed is raising 360, a re-raise with pocket deuces over in seat 2.
Well, he's got the best hands.
And Mike makes the call with Jack 8 of clubs.
130 and 80.
82.
80 to C7.
How much is the raise here again? I got word there was 320. 360?
Thank you.
Mike raised it to 60 and Ed re-raised it to 360. So a raise and a re-raise.
Okay, 2 players.
And we're heads up here. $750 in the pot. Deuces is good right now.
Wow, and somebody did fold King Queen, didn't they?
Yeah. Well,
Well, Ed followed
Ed
up on
followed through. And
nice follow through there. Well, it looks like Mo actually did win. Tallied up the votes here, and Mo was the winner.
Yep.
I remember Mo had a great bluff with King Jack versus King
we
7.
didn't see a lot of big bluffs, but I think it's a combination of that Mo had a lot of bluffs.
A lot of
It wasn't
bluffs,
like a
right.
huge overbearing bluff of the night. So
No.
yeah.
But Mo is the bluffer of the night, and
Yeah.
congratulations, he will win the Rolling Stones tickets, and I'm going to go out there and award them to him.
Yeah. All right. And we got a couple limpers here.
4 players.
4-way action. King 7 Jack on the flop.
It's been a close night, folks.
Limps around.
tickets, you
There's-
got a lot of votes.
There's Friar Tuck.
It means we have a lot of bluffers here.
Wait a minute, we got 10 minutes to go.
But But there's only one winner, and only one person will be going to see Stones on November 4th. And that person, my friends, is Mo.
Hey, did I bluff that much? Did I bluff that
Here
much?
Monday.
All right.
Ed is going to bet $250 here.
I didn't get any hand. Whenever I played, I bluffed it.
So Mo takes down the Rolling Stones tickets. Ed bets $250, and Mike calls with bottom pair.
Yeah, before you get
And
here,
Mike's in trouble.
Actually, I didn't get any hand.
The turn's a 3.
I didn't have any hand.
3 of spades here on the turn. Ed's got the 9 of spades in his hand. Mike has ace 10, not 7-10. That makes a little more sense. And Ed is going to bet here $250, and Mike calls, and the river is an 8. The river is an 8, and Corporation Mike has called him all the way with a gut shot and a spade draw, and he doesn't get there. And Ed bets $250 here again.
Take it.
And Mike is going to muck it, and Ed takes it down. There you go.
How do you miss that?
I gotta go smoke a cigarette.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, put me on pause.
Well, there's finally one hand for Ed.
Okay?
And we're going to see a straddle here by Corporation Mike.
Stratum.
Thank you.
Barry Woods is going to call, ace 9. Michael in seat 9 is going to call with pocket deuces.
Already paid. An ace on the board. Already paid, man. I object. Yeah.
And we are going to see 3-way action. Corporation Mike does not raise out of the straddle spot with ace 9. It's a little conservative from him. Jack 7-9. Mike and Barry both have the same hand.
No one's playing over him. He just said he wanted to bluff.
We might see a little bit of a pot here, folks. Ace 9 against ace 9.
Raise it.
And look at this. Barry's going to raise it to 200. Mike bets 100 with ace 9. Barry raises to 200 with ace 9. Mike calls.
Minimum raise. You want to draw here?
$500 pot. Turn is an ace. Both players make aces up now. 3 diamonds on board. Michael is out of the hand with pocket deuces.
400.
Barry's going to bet 400 here with the ace 9. Mike quickly calls. And the river's a queen. Mike checks. And it goes check, check. And aces and 9s are going to chop.
Very nice, very nice.
That's what I said. That's 1,000 on the turn.
There you go. And folks, this is going to be our last hand of the night. We want to thank you for joining us. And Dave, of course, will be back on Monday.
Yeah, nothing like a split pot, like kissing your sister at the end, huh?
Yeah, we're going to do one more hand.
One more hand? Okay.
Mine was better than mine. I bluffed it.
Of course, we know that Ed bought 5,000 more, so it'll be updated maybe next week as
Okay, so he's in for about 20,000, right? Well, Mo just told me this game's going to go on all night.
Yeah.
Without us, obviously.
Yeah.
I know you
Like I
guys-
said, I mean, I wish I had the bankroll to lose tens of thousands in a night.
You might win. Oh, I mean, I think you could really buy into this game for 2,000. I do think
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, the deuce 3 was, the real bluff. 3 high.
So
See if
here
you
we
can,
go.
like, basically take a shot at it.
Limp, limp, limp. What, just play pretty ABC, you mean?
No, you can still play your games, but $2,000, I think you could take a shot at it with 2,000, 2,500, say.
Everything was higher than my
5 players.
5-way action here. $100 pot. Jack, 6-9, all hearts. And looks like George has king queen with a queen of hearts. Mike folds his hand. It's always interesting. Got checked around. The turn's a 3, and now George has the third nut of hearts. And
Wow,
Queen
but,
8 of Queen 8. The black Queen 8 Amir is going to bet here.
Yeah.
80.
Well, George has made most of his money just from calling.
bluffed it.
Well, George is going to make the call with the queen of hearts.
Because too many overcards. exactly after that hand.
And the river's a 10.
Remember call?
And I was going to say, I want to see if George puts a bet in here at the river, and he does.
Yeah, well, Amir's made a straight.
He's going to bet 200.
What you had, you said fair.
Amir's made a straight also. So.
Well, George actually has a higher straight.
Yeah,
but it's
a higher
flush
straight
plays.
and a flush.
Yep, flush plays.
Before what's that?
$200 bet here.
You were in King high. That's a trap. Could be any pair or any star, yeah.
You know, the problem here is Amir bet the turn and George called. Would George really have called without a heart? I mean, it's George, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to play the player.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, George has only played maybe 6 or 7 hands all night.
Right.
One person who's only played like 2 hands all night is Hav.
And look at this. He's going to get paid off.
Wow.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Gets paid off. Wow. Well, George has made some good money tonight.
And that is going to do it for us tonight, Dave.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, recapping, what we saw in today's show, Jesus was the overall winner by far, upwards of $7,000 to $8,000 all night.
Barry Woods, huge night.
Yeah, Barry Woods had a huge night. He won about 6 or 7. Hav in seat 4
He's
made
up 5K.
about $5,000. Unfortunately for Ed, he's down about $15,000.
Yeah.
And Michael over in seat now, and he was one of the other big losers of the night, down anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000 for the night. Well, please join us again next week for Live at the Back. Of course, we stream live cash webcasts every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 o'clock Pacific time. So for everyone here in the booth and David Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.